Boom. We are live, folks. We are the Wrasslin for Life Network, and we are live on another feel-good Friday night. We're kicking it off with SmackDown right now, and I've got House of Glory pulling up right now as well. And we're going to be here for Rampage as well. So absolutely, be a friend, tell everybody that you know this is the place to be on a Friday night, because this show starts right now. Boom. And like I said, folks, we are the Wrasslin for Life Network, and we are back at it again on another feel-good Friday night. You know, give yourselves a little pat on the back. You made it through the week. You made it to Friday. And we're kicking off with SmackDown, and we're going to have Roman Reigns addressing the state of the bloodline. What's going to be, the fallout from the chair shot heard around the world. What's going to happen with Jey Uso especially. But folks, before I get to all of that, like I said, we are the Wrasslin for Life Network. We are here doing this all the time for any show out there, whether it be WWE, what, AEW, what, even like tonight, House of Glory, what, NWA, what, XPW. We're here covering anything and everything when it comes to pro wrestling. So absolutely, if you haven't done so already, be a friend, tell a friend, hit that like button, hit that bell notification, and make sure you subscribe, because like I said, big things popping, little things stopping. Up to something, season never sleeps. As you can see, I'm Big Nick. I'm normally joined by my hostess with the mostest, the every night delight, KJ White. But right now, he's handling a little business right now. So you got me, folks, on, like I said, a feel-good Friday night. So already we're kicking off with a replay from the Royal Rumble. And like I said, we're going to have Roman address the state of the bloodline tonight. So it's going to be interesting. Is Jey Uso out? We've got Jacob Fatu in the main event on House of Glory. I've heard there's been percolating and speculating that maybe Jacob Fatu's leaning towards going to the bloodline and all of that and everything. He put it out there, responding to Roman saying you're either bloodline or you're not. And about Jey saying he's out. But I will take this moment. Damien, how you doing? Looking forward to Ricochet versus Braun versus Imperium. Or Ricochet and Braun. Yes, so we do also have the finals of the tag team tournament on SmackDown as well as Charlotte Flair versus Sonya Deville for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And we've got another qualifying match for the Women's Elimination Chamber between Zelina Vega, Natalya Neidhart, Shotzi, and Shayna Baszler. So it's already, I know they don't tend to always advertise a whole lot, but this is already a stacked card, and we saw how big of a Monday night or how big of a Raw Monday night was. So this is, I feel, only going to be crazier. As we've got Roman walking in right now, getting asked about the status of Jey, but Damien, what up? Dale, what up? A-Town, what up? Curtis, what up? Happy SmackDown jabronis and jabronettes. Yes, if you smile. Gary, yes. T's and P's. Lenny Poffo, the genius, passed away the other day. So absolutely T's and P's. Oh, so no statement so far on where Jey Uso is or the status of him, but Paul even says to Charlie, thanks for wearing our colors tonight. Dale, how does Jey Uso play in the role in all of the bloodline story? I've heard people even speculating that maybe Jay's the main star, the main focus of this whole situation, of this whole storyline. I feel I shouldn't say I feel. Some people have put it out there that maybe Jay's kind of the focal point here, of that we're already getting Sami versus Roman at the Elimination Chamber. So why would you exactly run that back at WrestleMania? Maybe this is setting up for Roman versus Jey at WrestleMania. They reenact that You know, why you gotta do me like that, dog? The whole trials of Jay and everything at WrestleMania, since they can't get The Rock, they just got another Samoan. But folks, how you doing tonight? Yes. Why? Yes, shout out KJ, like I said, manhandling some business. Greg, what up? Yesterday's podcast is fun as hell. I had a blast. Well, Clinton, thank you. And absolutely, I see you're a little bit of a new face and everything like that. Absolutely tell everybody you know, like I said, that we do this all the time. We got you covered when it comes to the alternative commentary, when it comes to the wrestling buddies, you know, just hanging out on the couch with you, shooting the shit and everything. We got you covered. As right now on House of Glory, I've got the bookers coming out, and definitely not the bookers. I have Braun Strowman and the Great Fighting Irishman Ricochet coming out on SmackDown. So, folks, we do this for all the shows, all the matches, everything. Give us your prediction. Give me your prediction in the chat right now. Whether you've got Rico Strowman, I can't remember what creative name we gave them there last week, but we've got Braun Strowman and Ricochet coming out versus Imperium, Marcel Barthel and Giovanni Vinci in the finals for the SmackDown tag title shot. Or, yeah, it is for the SmackDown. Forgot that they kind of split them up and everything. But Victor, reach for the sky, boy. Absolutely. Smile, your team, Sammy. Fair enough. Well, like I said, and as you've seen by the thumbnail and everything, we've kind of got a potential bloodline civil war situation going on. We've got maybe Jey Uso and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn all formed together or something like that. They very much, you know, it's a little bit of the odd couple. How will they coexist? The stereotypical storyline. But then we've also got the bloodline with Roman even telling Solo, we're at war now. We take no prisoners. So I think that's right now. I even heard Michael Cole say on Pat McAfee's show that it's the best storytelling that this company's done in at least a decade. And I would not disagree with that. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down if you agree, I guess, with that comment of, you know, the bloodline storyline is the best they've done in a decade. But I've got Imperium coming out right now. Clinton, I definitely can't wait for the GCW stream. Speedball Mike Bailey versus Golden Star Kota Ibushi. I'm hyped for that match. Yes, and so is everybody else, especially probably Kenny Omega, because I think he's drooling at the mouth, pause, to get him into AEW as fast as humanly possible. I feel. I know Tony sat there and come out and said that he's obviously would reach out and all of that, but I think I read somewhere that Kota wants to develop a school in Japan first before he really signs anywhere. But that's still going to be a hell of a match. It's great to see a free agent like that and make that big of a splash of just being finally able to get in front of U.S. audiences. But Damien taking Braun, and they're hyping up Gunther more than they are Imperium at all. They're hyping up how Gunther lasted the longest in the Royal Rumble. He broke Ray's record of it's interesting a big man broke Ray's record like that. And well, that they even had Gunther in at 1. But yeah, so we've got the finals for the SmackDown Tag Team Title Tournament. That's a lot of teas. We've got Brawny the Strowman and Ricochet versus Imperium. So if you haven't given me a prediction yet, give me your prediction and I'll start reading through some of these of Hagen, what up, my dude? Strawman and Ricochet. Braun O'Shea for the win. Braun and Ricochet. So everybody's Team Braun. I see what it is. Thumbs up. Victor, what up? A-Town, what up? But, right now, Braun's in the ring. As I've got the main event coming out right now. So it looks like on House of Glory, we're getting the main event versus the Bookers, potentially for the House of Glory tag titles. Only say, I guess, because I've only got audio for one show right now because, you know, can't be too loud because, you know, YouTube. But so if anyone's watching along, any fact checkers out there, let me know. But it looks like I said, we're getting the Bookers versus main event on House of Glory. And so Gunther's on the sidelines like a fucking coach out there calling shots of go do it, yeah. Banana Logan Paul can beat Ricochet. Fair enough. Interesting name, by the way. But well, I think also Logan Paul can do the buckshot lariat better than Hangman Page. If we're, I guess bigging up Logan Paul, don't let Seth Rollins hear you, because I feel like they're setting up a match with him and Seth at WrestleMania, since we've got Seth now all the time, or today at least, talking about, oh, I can't stand Logan Paul. Most of us actually don't like, oh, big European uppercut from Lubakaiser is his correct name, I guess. I keep calling him Marcel Barthel. Oh, the Strowman Express blows through Giovanni Vinci, pause, and is now staring down Gunther. Only storyline even close to the Bloodline in past memory was Gargano versus Ciampa feud in NXT. Fair enough. Very valid, Smile Mark. Braun's got Marcel up. Oh, Giovanni almost. Oh, what the fuck? That was supposed to be a splash or maybe a frog splash or something, but that man just barely got up there and just went splat onto Strowman there. Will Logan make an appearance? I don't believe so. David's taking main event for the win. So yes, like I said, we are in commercial break right now, folks, on SmackDown. We do have the Bookers versus main event on House of Glory. But how y'all doing? Like I said, what's on your mind now? We've made it through another week in professional wrestling, and it still keeps getting crazier and crazier. We're getting reports that Comcast isn't interested in purchasing WWE. That Nick Khan thinks that it's pretty easy that he could sell, or that WWE is going to sell within the next 3 months. Plus, Vince has still got, I feel, lawsuit after lawsuit starting to pile up. So what are you guys thinking? What are you talking about right now with this past week in wrestling? Like I said, pat yourselves on the back. You made it to another Friday. Victor, what up? Ronnie. Imperium wins with Gunther interference. Fair enough. Well, before we go into the commercial, it looked like Brawny was walking down Gunther. But I could see that of maybe we still just set up Strowman versus Gunther. I could see that. Curtis taking Imperium for the okay. So now we're getting the turn. The tide's a little turning there. Pause. I'm watching House of Glory in the background. Yes, so am I. And don't forget, folks, we still have AEW Rampage coming up later tonight and tomorrow. We're going to be back here for NXT Vengeance Day. We've got Grayson Waller versus Braun Breaker. We've got Toxic Attraction, JC Jane and Gigi Dolan versus Roxanne Perez. It's going to be a hell of a show. So we are here covering anything and everything, folks. Like I said, we got SmackDown and House of Glory right now. We've got Rampage coming up later tonight, and then we'll be back here tomorrow for Vengeance Day. Banana and Grape saying, I don't blame Jey Uso. Fair. Well, it's so interesting. I think that's part of what really makes it the most compelling storytelling and everything of this, of that. It's the least expected outcome of it. Of Jey was the one that initially hated Sami being involved. He didn't want any part of it. But it is also interesting that Jay's the one that he's right hand Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso. He was right there the whole time. He was the first one into the bloodline. The first one, I guess, quite literally jumped in. So to see him go from being down since day one, literally, to out, it's kind of that full circle aspect of it. Scott, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the super chat. Working on getting you a Jericho interview on the cruise right now. Oh, my guy, shout out. I don't know if Chris might like some of the things that we have to say about him. Don't tell him that. But no, shout out, absolutely. Folks, be yourself as Scott and everything like that. If I missed any of your comments or anything like that, or if there's anything you really want to get across, or if you just want to help support the channel and everything like that, we do have the super chat and the super sticker option. So again, thank you, Scott. And if you are actually on the cruise and everything, which I didn't know that had set sail yet, but I hope you're enjoying. Hagen says Cardona on SmackDown tonight. Strowman into the turnbuckles. We're back from commercial as I've got the Bookers in control on House of Glory, but it's interesting with Cardona. I feel like he would have drive by in a fucking missile drop kick, I guess. But I feel like if he was going to come back, he would have came back at the Rumble like his wife did. versus, wait and come back at the end and all of that. It would feel a little bit like how Small Mark's talking about. We got Carmella and Boogs on Raw. Do we get a surprise here on SmackDown? Possibly Nakamura. Nakamura's not a bad shout, but it is interesting to me that we got more surprise returns, surprise entrance, surprise debuts, what have you, however you want to put it, on Raw than almost we did on the Rumble. So I wouldn't be surprised, maybe, I guess, if we get something here on SmackDown, but where do you fit somebody in like a Nakamura? Does he go back into the IC title scene as Ricochet in the ring right now? House of Fire. Does anybody think Sonya Deville will take the title from Charlotte Flair? Survey says no. I don't think so. Especially with their setting up her versus Rhea. Phenomenal forearm, basically, from Ricochet, and a standing shooting star press for a 1-2 count. I wanted Gunther to win the Rumble. Fair enough. Well, am I the only one that feels like the women's Rumble was better than the men's Rumble? The men's Rumble this year was very disappointing. Not in just, we didn't get enough returns, we didn't get enough surprises, but just the way it was kind of laid out of, it almost felt like paint by numbers, especially with like Cody coming out at 30 and all of that. Versus, I think me and KJ both thought of, we have Cody and Seth start off 1 and 2, and they just kind of run the gamut there. And Giovanni Vinci misses on the drive-by and just goes right in the turnbuckle. Springboard back elbow. So I think the men's Royal Rumble was the most I was looking forward to, because like you said, if even Gunther could have won it, anybody could have literally won it. But the fact that it just became so paint by numbers, it kind of was basic storytelling. And Strowman tosses Ricochet over the top rope on both members of Imperium. And it almost looked more awkward just based off of Strowman throwing him than if Ricochet would have just sat there and done a springboard himself. Now we've got a shoving match. Larry says, Nick, I agree about the men's Rumble. Well, thank you. And Gunther's been ejected from ringside. Woo. Women's 4-way match to determine who gets in the Elimination Chamber match. Yes, Damien, I did talk about that. We do still have that coming up. But so now Gunther's been thrown out at ringside, and Strowman's still just kind of walking him down, saying, come on, take a shot. And like I think somebody called it out, or Victor called it out, of we're going to get shenanigans here of now it's this distracted Braun. That was like a modified total elimination. 1-2 count. So we almost got the shenanigans. We almost got the shenanigan win. And we're back in commercial, folks. As like I said, I've still got House of Glory on in the background as well. Hot tag to the Lion. Again, the crazy things you call in professional wrestling. But right now we headed into commercial with Gunther getting thrown out at ringside, Strowman all distracted, walking him down, and Ricochet getting hit with a double team finisher for a 2 count. But so how are y'all doing tonight? I guess I was wrong. Gunther is out of there. Yeah, you're out of there. Yeah, I could see put Nakamura in the IC title. That's what I thought. Well, if you're going to bring him back, that would be, what you're probably going to do. I don't think you could really force him into Roman right now. It's even feeling a little odd with Cody getting pushed into that. Nick, you got accusations and allegations. Why? Who told you? Who say I got that? Why? Gunther was close. He almost eliminated Cody with a sleeper hold. Yes, Gunther. I think Gunther was in the last 2. It was him. It was down to him and Cody. So Big Nick, is anyone going to get a big rig or a big boot? Why? Well, we'll have to see if everybody play nice. If I think that's what you're talking about here, if everybody just play nice. But absolutely, folks, like I said, light up that chat. It is a feel good Friday night. We've got not one, not two, but three shows going on tonight. And like I said, we're going to be back here tomorrow night for Vengeance Day. Like I said, we got you covered when it comes to the alternative commentary, the wrestling buddies, the homies you just lead on the couch, just shooting the shit with you, talking about the day, all of that, and watching some good old professional wrestling. So if you haven't done so already, like I said, I see about 30 so people kicking around everything. If you haven't done so already, hit that like button, tell everybody you know about us. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell notification, because even then, still, you don't know when we're going to pop up. Like on Fox right now, I'm getting an ad for the Super Bowl, and we're going to be here doing a Super Bowl stream. Even though I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, I might end up having to cheer for the Eagles. I know I pissed off everybody in California or Kansas City by saying, or Missouri. Fuck, I got there by saying that. But yes, even though I'm in New York, I might have to take the Eagles in that. But absolutely, like I said, be a friend, tell a friend. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification, because half the time we don't even know when we're going to show up. We've been on stream before and turned around and decided midstream we're going to cover another show. You just did. Why? Man's Rumble was weak, but I think it was Cody's win the whole time. No sense to overbook it and take away from Cody's win. And women were booked stronger because they needed the shot and build them up. Fair enough. But I still think if you could have done it with having Cody start off and make him, really show that he's the babyface coming back and all of that. And I feel like that would have 100% almost been a better story than it feeling like so much of a layup of, him coming out at 30 and everything. But we are back from commercial, but I will get through some of these. Damon with the fire. Rally, what up? Been a hot minute since I seen you, my homie. Boss Monster, what up? Ali, Greensville, South Carolina, shout out. Let's see some flames for our best friend, Big Nick. What? Shout out KJ out there, like I said, handling his business, because like I said, folks, big things popping, little things stopping, up to something, season never sleeps. What? Chef says, go Lions. Well, Lions actually had a pretty solid year and everything like that. So, I mean, I can't hate on that. I'm a little sad about, what happened with my Bills as I, got all of my, Super Bowl stream Buffalo gear and everything right as they got eliminated. What? Yeah, so absolutely, like I said, folks, we are back from commercial as we've got Imperium right now teaming up on Ricochet, setting them up for the double team pile drivers. So I believe the Bookers just went over on the main event, which is interesting as hell. So it looks like we might have new House of Glory tag team champions. Surprising, very surprising if that was for the title. Let me see if I can pop in real quick and make sure. But Giovanni Vinci with a big suspended suplex. Ooh. My guess is they didn't want to risk an injury or a botch to Cody. That's why 30. Fair enough. See Money, what up? What a horrible finish to the first match. On House of Glory, Amazing Red hit the main event with a chair and ended in a DQ. Okay, so they're not. Wait, so that are Damien? You be my fact checker on this. So is House of no? Okay, so I'm seeing them getting handed the title. So it was a DQ finish, so no titles change hand. Fair enough. Thank you. As Strowman just got tagged back in. Cody should have been number 15 or earlier, would have looked better with him battling until the end. Also, Chelsea Green, 5 seconds. Oh my God, she reminds me of Moni. Come out, pause. Or is that just me? Big European uppercut. To me, it reminds me of like the Taz spot or the Santino spot of wait, I wasn't ready. Of them, she literally got eliminated before her music cut off from her entrance. That's how fast she got eliminated. But I do like even Matt Cardona saying, look at my wife out there setting records. Is that a diving elbow drop Uncle Howdy special? Strowman with a power bomb onto Ludwig, and Ricochet going up, and he's so why does Ricochet have to have the Alexa Bliss spot here of doing the 630 off of Strowman's shoulders? I mean, I get it's a fucking cool spot, but it would have been cool if Alexa hadn't already done it. But so front flip for Ricochet for a 3 count. So the Strowman Express, or I guess Twins, WWE's versions of the Danny DeVito Arnold Schwarzenegger movie Twins of Ricochet and Braun Strowman pick up the win. As I've got Nolo Catano coming out on House of Glory. But so Ricochet and Braun Strowman are your SmackDown Tag Team title #1 contenders right now. So, and that's an interesting question in all of this. Of T-Money with the Tower of Power, yes. But so how do the Usos defend the tag titles? Do we do Freebird rules and now it's just Jimmy and Solo as tag champs? Is that how they get the belts off of them? So next week, they're announcing already the Usos versus Strowman and Ricochet for the tag team championship. So folks, we will be here. We will be there. What? So make sure you tune in because that's going to be an interesting way, especially to see how the rest of tonight plays out, because that was still only match #1 of the night. What? Heart to the tail of Brawny and Ricochet. So, dude, yes. Well, no, that's always going to be Sami Zayn and KO's whole thing to where KO had to literally pull Sami aside and be like, "Do you want to be the Nelson Muntz of pro wrestling or the Martin Van Housen Martin Prince of professional wrestling? No, then stop fucking prancing around me when we walk out." I want Ricochet and Braun versus Imperium for the tag title. Well, that's part of why I think that it's interesting that now they've gone to the splitting up and defending only the SmackDown title differently and the Raw title specifically. That now you could see to where maybe a team on Raw, maybe it's Judgment Day, ends up taking one of the tag titles off of the Usos, and maybe we get the Usos versus Sami and KO at Mania. So I like that. I don't know if I exactly want to see that match per se, but I do like that they're at least splitting it up to where now there's the potential that they could lose one of the titles, not both. Steve, what up? Roxanne, for the time being, will stay with Booker T. What? Good tag team. I can see them winning. Quick question. Do you think Indy Hartwell, Zoe Starks, Roxanne Perez going up to the main roster after Rumble? You love the way Dexter, Johnny, Candice, Indy. I've been on record of saying that Indy at this point should just go to the main roster, of just pair her up with Johnny and Dexter and all of that, because we basically already have the way to an extent on Raw. We're just kind of missing Indy, and she's just kind of left down in NXT, pretty much just being a little bit of a jobber, I feel like. So I could see Indy going up. Zoe was rumored for the longest time that she was going to be going up, but it doesn't really seem like it's going to be the case. I don't. Maybe because of Nikita getting injured, and now they maybe need to keep her down in NXT for a little bit. And Roxanne just won the NXT title, so she very much needs to still be kind of that face of the NXT women's division. As I'm getting a video package right now on SmackDown of Rhea calling out Charlotte. So I guess early predictions, folks, of who do you have, Rhea or Charlotte, for the SmackDown Women's Championship at WrestleMania 39? Because right now, I won't lie, it's pretty much a signed, sealed, delivered for Rhea, I feel like. But I do also have the Cruiserweight Championship match on House of Glory, Mighty Manta versus Nolo Catano. But we're getting Charlotte interviewed backstage. So Rhea, Charlotte. Woo! Oh, I like this. The Wrestle 4 Mania. Yes, that's what we're on the road to right now, folks. The Wrestle 4 Mania. Oh. as we've got Sonya, Corella, Deville interrupting. But so we're still setting up for later tonight, and I do like Sonya in this position of she's honestly one of the better heels that they have in their division of is Sonya. And I think if we were going to do something with Ronda, if we're going to do something with Shayna, or even just put her and Shayna together for fuck's sake, we need to build up this tag team division, and she is a legit heel and she can go. But WWE loves Charlotte, so you never know with Charlotte's booking. Fair enough. Well, I mean, we thought she was kind of, destined to drop the title to Rhea and then turn around. She tapped out Rhea with a figure eight. And so Clash at the Coliseum up next. So we've got what in the fuck? It's got NASCAR colors. So I saw a picture floating around earlier of Dom in some racing gear. So it looks like we're going back to the old WCW days of where's Sparkplug Bob Holly and all of that of, we're going to have some NASCAR with our pro wrestling. It feels like if we've got Ray and the New Day versus Dom and Judgment Day. But so I am in commercial on SmackDown. And like I said, I do have the Cruiserweight Championship match on House of Glory. Banana says, woo! That sounded interesting. They need to feed Rhea to Raquel. That would be an interesting feud after, honestly. Now, there's two feuds I really want to see with Rhea. It's her versus Bianca, and I want to see her versus Raquel, like you just shouted out there. Feel like those two are money feuds. Of you have the kind of new generation to speak, the new powerhouses, especially of they're all super powerful female wrestlers and everything. So I think they'd make for hell of a matches. Do you have the champ retaining the Cruiserweight Championship in House of Glory? Who you picking Cruiserweight champ match right now, Nick? I am going to go with Nolo Catano because Mighty Manta Montequia we've seen him a couple of times. He's had the Cruiserweight Championship for quite a while and everything, and this has been very much a bit of, teacher passing the torch to the student, what have you, but the student turned heel, what have you. So I kind of feel like it's kind of run its course at this point, as we have a katana set up on the entrance ramp of House of Glory as Nolo's trying to push Manta's face into it. And that's the thing that is interesting with House of Glory is it very much does more the cinematic style almost naturally of it. A lot of their storylines and all of that are played out through social media and little vignettes and everything. It's not they don't have a week-to-week television show or anything like that. So it very much gets played out through reels and video clips and what have you that get put out on socials. So it does tend to go a bit more towards the cinematic. Larry, let me pass it back to you. Why? Money, I think I know why. Why? What did I miss? Why is Scott Hall saying that forever ingrained in my brain? All right, y'all are having a conversation that I'm not sure I've kept up with. So at some point, we're supposed to get the GHC Junior Heavyweight Champion versus the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. Come again, Clinton? So you're wait, isn't that's got to be what? Noah? No, well, it's obviously New Japan. So you're saying that they're going to have a Noah versus New Japan Junior Heavyweight versus Light Heavyweight title match? If that's what you're saying, that's interesting. But speaking of companies who could probably use a light heavyweight title or anything like that, I think honestly WWE could use something like that. If then you could have something for guys like Ricochet, for Mustafa Ali, etc., that they can still be involved in something, but they don't need to just be thrown into some bullshit. As a 2 count after a corkscrew splash from Nola on a Manta, as I'm getting a replay of or a video package for the Rumble. And did everyone else hear the stories going around about how Brock, I guess, got some heat backstage because of his little freak out after he got eliminated and everything? I mean, have you seen Brock? I feel like that's kind of, to be expected with him. We had a backpack stunner on House of Glory. Oh, survey says fair. Yeah, very much. Now I see what you guys were saying. So they're very much hyping up right now. That's what SmackDown is. As we're back from commercial break, they're stroking that Fox ego there of after it got leaked out of how much money they were losing with this deal. But so they're advertising how on February 5th, Sunday, we will have the Clash of the Castle for NASCAR. And then now we've got a pre-tape, yet almost live to where we've got the New Day and Ray hanging out with, I believe that's Michael Waltrip, as the Judgment Day shows up. And so we, like I said, this is very much just a promo for, hey, NASCAR's on Fox too. Shout out CJ, my buddy Braun. Yes, shout out to CJ, KJ, everybody. Big Cliff absolutely made his debut on NXT and everything like that. Shout out to all the homies, all the brothers from another mothers, the siblings from other misters. So we're gonna get an actual race off. What in the name of Fast and the fucking Furious are we gonna have right now? And it's fitting that someone named Dom, is involved in this shit right now. Are we gonna get the whole Paul Walker, I guess T's and P's of dude, I almost had you, you didn't have me. This is just wow. This, like I said, this reminds me of the WCW days of when they had the monster trucks and you had the little standoff at the top of the arena between Big Show or the Giant at the time and Hogan. And so Mighty Manta picks up the win in House of Glory. So he retains as the Cruiserweight champion. Like I said, so we're getting set up for, doesn't matter whether you win by an inch or a mile. What in the name of fucking Ricky Bobby am I watching on SmackDown? It's almost so terrible it's good, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Thumbs up or thumbs down of, I guess, the Talladega Nights that we've got going on between Dom and Ray right now? And they're even treating this to where they're literally looking at this like a real race of, they cut through and they've got the little bubbles on top of their, heads and everything, or their cars and everything. Horrendous. Yeah, stunt drivers. I was wondering if it was the NASCAR drivers or and they were just the co-pilots or what was the full situation. But Tom, the only getaway race you've done is in a video game. Well, this sure as shit does look like a fucking video game right now, honestly, with the way that they've got this looking. Is part of the video CGI? Yeah, shout out A-Town. That's exactly what I was just thinking of. This literally, it does. That was right there was super CGI. Yeah, so this is very much just, they're blending a video game into, they probably did one fucking lap around this track and then the rest is all just like, all right, so we'll just simulate and CGI this shit. So Ray picks up the win. Ray is the fastest driver, I guess, in WWE, although I feel like Spark Plug Bob Holly might have something to say about that. As now we've got a pull apart here. And on House of Glory, hey, we're getting Viva Van versus Violet on House of Glory for the House of Glory Women's Championship. And for those who don't know, who don't really follow too much on the independent scene, Viva Van's been pretty much everywhere lately. There's an amazing picture of her on almost like a Game of Thrones chair and everything, with like 6+, 7+ championships all around it and everything. She's 100% gonna be one of the breakout people from the independent scene, I feel, in either this year, if not, sooner rather than later. And again, we're also getting another one, Brian Keith, who's been in anywhere and everywhere. I think he just won or was in the semifinals for BOLA, the Battle of Los Angeles for PWG. But that's the one thing I like with House of Glory. If it's still, it uses a lot of independent talent and everything that's obviously got its own roster, but they put a spotlight. They get, they use, big time movers and shakers on the independent scene. As again, we're back in the commercial last week after we had the little NASCAR CGI promo, but we're setting up for Sonya Deville versus Charlotte Flair, because we already had Sonya coming out. And yeah, it does look like CGI. Who's your favorite wrestler, both right now and all time? Right now, if you're talking overall, 100%. I know I have a few favorites that are pretty much known to any sort of the regulars and everything on the channel and all of that. I guess shout out MJF, Eddie Kingston, Kenny, Will Ospreay, all of that. But if I'm talking right now, blue chip prospect of top guy doing it, it's Roman Reigns. If I'm talking all time, probably best, I feel, to ever do it, to sit there and have the longevity and reinvent himself as much and as often as he did and everything, and have this still aura around him. It's, to me, The Undertaker. Obviously Stone Cold, The Rock, what have you, are all very much in that conversation, and it's really, you're splitting hairs at that point. But that would be my opinion on that question. But so if you are watching House of Glory, or if you're interested, give me your pick on Violet versus Viva Van for the House of Glory Women's Championship, as I am in commercial break on SmackDown. Dale, if it stays 101, fair enough. So did Night and Starks. I feel like I jumped in a conversation. I can see Shayna and or Ronda interfering. In this match. Fair enough. Viva Van started out here. Shout out, I guess, Steve. Where you at then? But yeah, no, she's super talented. Like I said, she's been everywhere, and it's always still nice to keep an eye on the independent scene outside of obviously WWE and AEW, the major two players and all of that, but to still see the people that are in that, that promotion for, this kind of run, and still see kind of that almost still modern territory type version, I feel like. And we've even interviewed a bunch of independent guys and everything like that, which, by the way, go and check out all our back catalog and everything like that. We got interviews. We got all sorts of things. We got prediction shows. We got the Let's Rumble podcast. Like I said, or like I've said before, we are your home for all things pro wrestling, as I've got an armbar for Viva Van. Where was I? Jake, what up? Speaking of covering all things and everything, go check out our Discord, all of that. We've got a Discord. We've got a merch store. Actually, I'll pull that up real quick. Yes, folks, we do have a merch store, and we do have a Discord as well. Both links should be in the description of the video, should be in the description of the channel as well. Plus, we got all our socials and everything like that scrolling at the bottom. So absolutely, like I keep saying, big things popping, little things stopping, up to something season never sleeps. Absolutely. We got all the business going on. Like I said, we're covering anything and everything when it comes to pro wrestling. You show me another channel out there right now that's A, doing it like we do, and B, sitting there and we're covering SmackDown. What? We're covering Rampage. What? We got House of Glory. What? We're going to be back here for the Super Bowl. What? We're going to be here tomorrow night for Vengeance Day. What? We've got Monday Night Raw coming up next week. We're going through anything and everything. We are the channel that just doesn't stop. But like I said, we're back from commercial. We've got Sonya Deville in the ring right now. We've got Charlotte about to come out, as I've got Violet and Viva Van on the outside of the ring. Just big old mean chops right now. Sonya wins by countout, says Smile. I would love to be in a steel cage match with Bayley. Pause. I hope Sonya wins. Shout out Keyshawn. Is that Jake from State Farm? Well, he sounds like a man. What, Roman Reigns? Okay. Southern California, Van Starks are the championship wrestling from Hollywood. UWN. Well, I guess, shout out hashtag not sponsored. Nick, it's not on my Hulu. Well, House of Glory is on Fight. Fox has got SmackDown, and obviously TNT has Rampage, which, speaking of which, I should probably, just for, safekeeping, have that link tucked away here right now. But yes, we've got Charlotte Flair coming out right now on SmackDown. So if you haven't given me a prediction already, folks, give me a prediction in the chat, whether you're taking Charlotte Flair or Sonya Deville for the SmackDown Women's Championship, or if you want to give me a prediction, well, actually, and if you want to give me a prediction on Viva Van versus Violetta, I couldn't, try and say, give me a V or a V, but that wouldn't really work. But so you're going to have to write that one out, but you could just give me a C or an S if you're too shy to write out a comment there on who you're taking for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Definitely Egan Page. What? Rhea leaves Mania as champion. I believe that in my heart. Absolutely. I feel that as well. Banana taking Charlotte. Charlotte Flair and Ultraviolet, says Damien. Small Mark favorites currently Becky Lynch, Ricochet, Speedball. Okay, well, I mean, if you're saying just a whole list, I was going with just one apiece here. If you're going to do your whole little boy stable and all of that of, who are your guys, then that's a whole different conversation for another time. But I'm taking Charlotte Flair here. I think, like I said, of now that Rhea's already announced that she's going after Charlotte at WrestleMania, we're playing that whole way, that whole story all the way through. We're not having any sort of fucking little hiccups. We're not having any sort of little mid-title reigns. We're not going to set up Rhea versus Sonya Deville for Mania. We're not going to have Charlotte lose it and then have her win it back in a rematch. None of that. So I think, as much as, like I said, Sonya Deville is great and deserves more credit than she gets, I think 100% Charlotte Flair picks up the win here. Oh, big old mean chops from Viva Van. And she even just looks like a goddamn $1 million. Pause. By the way, why is Matt Hardy in the firm? What the literal hell? Well, sir, around here we use what in the Rudy blue hell, but I know I get what you're saying. Well, Matt Hardy, I feel like, is just the man who's lost. They don't know what to do with him, so they just kind of have him as like Ethan Page's sidekick / he's still dealing with private part. It's just all sorts of weird. It's to me, it's the union, it's the job squad if they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I don't want Charlotte to win, but she will, says Larry. Fair enough. I picked Moxley and Starks or Markova. Fair enough. So I guess we're getting everybody's favorites here. I want to see Swerve. Believe he might be on Rampage tonight. I will double check that right now, as I've got hair pulling and arm bars or wrist locks actually on SmackDown, and I've got, again, still just chops back and forth. If this has been, oddly enough, between the two women on House of Glory, it's been very much a Gunther Sheamus type match. I feel, of just all chops and missing spinning back fist and now double boots. What? Shout out whoever it was in the comments earlier that was asking who's going to get a big boot. But yeah, so both women down on House of Glory. As right now, Charlotte misses a splash in the corner. Both women down on House on House of Glory. So I'm trying to pull up the card right now. Bear with me, folks, for Rampage as well. Swerve Strickland 101 with Brian Pillman Jr. Fair enough. Thank you, Damien. I think she beats Rhea. Banana, interesting. Well, like somebody said earlier, it could really go either way. It's Charlotte Flair at the end of the day. She is a little bit of lull Cena wins. As again, we're in a commercial on SmackDown. I know they didn't do a commercial free first hour, but well, Christ, we're still in the first hour, but it's been heavy, I feel, with the commercials so far on SmackDown, as we've got a 2 count on House of Glory. Matt Hardy needs to go back to Impact, do the ice cold Matt Hardy gimmick. Kind of felt that gig was underused. I still think they're almost halfway setting up, sadly or unfortunately at some point, for him to come back as broken Matt Hardy, I feel. But so for Rampage, oh god damn you. Yes, so we have the Elite defend the World Trios titles against the Firm. Swerve Strickland and Brian Pillman and Soraya and Tony Storm in tag team action. And we will have that in about an hour, folks. Well, like I said, right now, I've got House of Glory going on. I've got Violet with a roll up, and I've got SmackDown a commercial break. Keith Lee still in catering. Yeah, unfortunately. Why do they have nothing to do with Keith Lee? Well, why? I just feel so much that Keith Lee is just hating the fact that he is not back in WWE with his wife there. Nick, where's House of Glory located? If you know, it is coming right now out of New York City. But if you're trying to find a stream for it or anything outside of any sort of, watch wrestling whatever services, you didn't hear it from me, but it's also on Fight as well. But yes, it's emanating from Arena NYC, New York, in the United States. That's my prediction. I guess, well, interesting enough, I will take this quick second. I think that's the first time there's been someone in the chat here that's had the same name as me. So there's a shout out from one Nick to another. If the Elite, if they win tonight on Rampage, they face the trio of Top Flight Fox for the Trios Championship next week on Dynamite. Fair enough. Shout out Damien. That cinder block injured Keith Lee's stomach, so he's got to build back his strength there by staying in catering. Yes, he's got to recover. He's got to build back, the protection belly there. Pause. Give me, well, you've still got to end somehow, some way. I feel the Keith Lee and Swerve feud, which I feel oddly enough hasn't ended. But I would love to see after Danielson, you get a Keith Lee versus MJF feud. Roll up from Charlotte. Oh, big head kick. Where were we? Keith Lee, most underutilized star. That's not a bad shout. I think that list would be pretty short. Roosh one-on-one with Christopher Daniels as well. All interested. So we're getting the Fallen Angel. Nick, thank you. Sounds like East Coast based. Yes, it is. It is. I think it's actually run by Sami Callihan, if I'm not mistaken. Him, and that's why you tend to see Jessica Havoc and all of that. And so Violet retains the House of Glory Women's Championship with, again, the most devastating move in professional wrestling, the surprise roll-up. House of Glory's, I believe, at least own, run, managed. He's kind of the figurehead, or the most that they put out there, much like Wrestling Revolver with Swerve. Of House of Glory is kind of run by Sami Callihan. Stiff ass clothesline from Charlotte. Another one. But we've got an intense stare down right now between Violet and Viva Van. So this may not be the last time we see Viva Van in House of Glory. Which, yes, again, folks, like I said, we do cover everything. We've kind of ended up covering quite a bit of House of Glory shows and everything, along with Wrestling Revolver. And trust me when I say this, outside of, the big two, maybe I guess even the big three, if you want to count Impact, they do not disappoint. They won 100%. They put on a show of, even like tonight, the main event of their first show of 2023 is Jacob Fatu versus JTG. Shout out, Crime Time and everything. For the House of Glory world title. 2 count for Charlotte. AEW, where's Miro, Archer, Lee, big man? Yeah, TK has no time. Yeah, absolutely. Tony just has no time for anyone that's not his buddies. You're part of his buddies' cliques. I feel like that's why Chris Jericho gets 18 segments a night, and why we have segments of Kenny Omega getting oiled up, shirtless, in sweatpants on a basketball court and everything like that. But meanwhile, like you said, we can't even get Miro. We can't get Keith Lee. No one knows where Lance Archer is. Christ, when it feels like we go a week or two between Eddie Kingston matches at this point, unless we're counting Dark. 2 count from Sonya. Oh, big boot. After she got Charlotte hung up on the top rope, going for a big boot herself. Wikipedia says, is saying Master P owns House of Glory. Make him say, oh, fair enough. Fair enough that if Master P owns House of Glory, that is no limit, 100%. Make him say, now that's going to be stuck in my head all night. Thanks, C-Money. But this is a pretty solid match between Sonya and Charlotte right now. I don't know how y'all feeling. But this isn't just looking like little Charlotte wins a bit. Big knee from Sonya off the top rope for a 2 count. Not having Miro is a crime. Well, spelling Miro like Mark Mero is a crime, I should feel. Shout out, I guess, Johnny B. Good or Johnny B. Bad, whichever WCW gimmick you want to go off of. And a surprise roll-up. That looked like a goddamn 4 or 5 count right there with that roll-up. I feel like the ref's hand came down one too many times when it comes to that. But are you enjoying House of Glory so far, Nick? Yeah, absolutely. It's 2 count. It's the first show for House of Glory for 2023, hence The Beginning is the title of it. And it's also a tribute to Jay Briscoe as well. And also, like I said earlier, last year we kind of started picking up, because people like yourself, Damien, were asking us to cover it and everything, and, telling us the cards, and we saw how stacked they were. So we ended up starting to watch Wrestling Revolver and House of Glory almost pretty regularly. So absolutely, I'm super entertained by it. As Sonya with the feet up on the moonsault, she's got the feet on the ropes for a 2 count though. Miro, brother Miro, brother Miro. Shout out, I guess, fucking Sable. Oh God. Brother Nero versus Brother Mero. God almighty, just don't ever book that, please. Don't, and never speak that into existence again. As we've got the figure 8 getting locked in right now as she's bridging up. So Sonya taps. So Charlotte retains as the SmackDown Women's Champion with a figure 8. As she's still sitting there just talking to her face as she gets up. Yeah, Charlotte Flair wins. I'm enjoying the House of Glory card. Actually, I'll take this poll. How many of y'all enjoying this stream right now and everything? Y'all just listen to me talk for about an hour and everything like that, talking about multiple shows. So give me a thumbs up, give me a like, give me a fucking flame emoji, give me something. Let me know that you're having a good Friday night with the Wrasslin for Life Network. Shout out, Cheap Mick Foley plug there. Predictable. I feel like there's the, Seymour Skinner there meme of just pathetic. Just popped into my mind with that. Right. Yeah. Wow. That was a shocker. I 100%, couldn't have predicted that Charlotte Flair was going to win. But it was still, like I said, it was a good match, and it's a good kind of entry feud, and it does kind of elevate Sonya as well. It shows that she can go in there with Charlotte and put on a good match. Ronnie, what up? Stream always better than what we watch. Shout out, Larry. Like I said, that is why, folks. As I see 50 y'all kicking around right now, we are the alternative commentary when it comes to all things professional wrestling. We're your buddies on the couch talking wrestling, just shooting the shit with you and everything like that you can't get in real life. So absolutely tell everybody that grab anybody that used to be a wrestling fan, that is a wrestling fan, Christ, that just wants to hang out on a Friday night or on pretty much any night. Let them know about us. Be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, and subscribe, all of that. And like I said, we got a Discord. What? We got merch. What? We're here covering anything and everything. What? So what is there to not like? What? Hey, KJ, loving it. What? Oh, CJ, if you got time to come in, you got time to be here, my guy. Love you. Oh, pause. No, I no Daddy Nick. No, none of that. Pause. Always having fun while we're talking wrestling for life. Shout out. Absolutely. But as like we're right now getting another video package for Cody. We're putting over again still the purple pack. I can't wait to see the action figures that come out. I've seen one that was potentially leaked of it's just all Cody just purple from the neck down and all that. If you want a purple pack Cody action figure, just buy a regular Cody action figure. Trust me, AW still selling Cody action figures. And just put some little nail polish on it and everything like that. Or just paint it like, I even did for the Golden KJ plot with a little Brawny the Strowman. But so how are y'all feeling? Do we think that that's truly the main event of WrestleMania? That's ending night 2, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. Cody potentially walks out with both titles, one title, no titles, or do we get Roman going on both nights? Do we get even an entire replacement to where Cody isn't facing Roman? Well, as we've got Roman backstage just a stewing, just there with Paul Heyman, Jimmy, and Solo. As I turn this up a little bit, as I've got Encore coming out on House of Glory. Hand purple blue piece. So Roman's asking Jimmy if he's talked to Jay. I bet Roman had a thing or two to say to Sami. Oh, I can't imagine. I don't know what's colder right now. Roman towards Sami or even Jay or the weather outside. But Roman's saying he doesn't care enough to communicate. Don't you have a title match next week? It's one thing to walk out, but you don't even care enough to communicate. You don't care about obligations. This is why, again, like a lot of people are potentially hinting at, maybe Jay's the main focus here of we started where we end. We end where we started with main event Jey Uso of the right-hand man is the one that, puts the knife in Roman's back and fully. So Jimmy's saying Jay just needs time to chill out because he's too emotional. Triple H does too much filler stuff. Steve, I get that you could view this as filler and this is a bit more. Honestly, you could just do a fucking Bloodline show a week of give me a half hour, what have you, of them just going through storyline, and I'd be fine with it. If we get one episode, it's just Jay and Sami hanging out or something like that. Absolutely. I like this. This is good. I do get to what you're saying of some of the stuff's a bit too much, but this 100% is it not WrestleMania season, as Roman's saying. But this is some of the best storyline they've done in forever. Roman telling Jimmy, well, even technically Solo, because Solo's their brother as well, of you're going to find him on the couch. I want to know where your brother is right now. It's WrestleMania season. Hey!
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
Fair enough. Okay, bye-bye. Shout out, like I said, the man on the scene, the man making all the deals, the Every Night Delight, Mr. KJ White. Shout out to him. And, my other brothers from another mothers of Mr. CJ Brand and, Big Cliff the Spliff there. But so now I've got the Brawling Brutes coming out. Bang Bros, pause. Fight night. Roman just put the knife in Jay's back. Steve, no, I think Jay might be the one to put the knife in Roman's back, potentially. Or maybe it's Sami. But it's going to be interesting. Do we have the trial or the, high council or what have you that we were going to have on Raw 30 with Jey Uso? So do we get that potentially instead of, because we couldn't have it on Raw 30, do we get that now with Jay? That's when we get, Afa and Sika and Rikishi and everybody come out and just hold Jay accountable for going back to that whole, you're either part of the bloodline or you're not part of the family. You can tell Heyman has a big influence for Roman to be Roman. Well, I think I think initially he had a big influence. Now they very much realize that it's Roman is very much, the top guy, the draw, the attraction when it comes to WWE 100%. So I think he really gets that pull. He gets that leeway of, there's even been there was talks even when Roman was just the big dog, that's where he was the locker room leader. He was the needle mover, even before he started with that. So I think very much of now they're just letting him be him, and it's hitting every goddamn note it needs to. Steve, Nick, not the bloodline racing, showing what's happened on the show. Huh? Fair enough. I don't know what you were saying there, but gotcha. Money acknowledge me. Acknowledges me. Oh, fair enough. I read that as we are in commercial. Again on SmackDown. Again, god damn. It may not be a lot of talking segments, but it sure as hell a lot of commercials, I feel. It's literally one segment commercial. Another segment commercial. Absolutely, I feel like. But I almost want to say it again because I got 70 some odd people kicking around and everything like that. But folks, I will just let you know that we are the Wrestling for Life Network. This is what we do. We are here covering anything and everything when it comes to pro wrestling. If you haven't done so already, be a friend, tell a friend, hit that like button, what? Hit that subscribe button, what? Ring that bell notification, what? And absolutely just strap on and strap in. As what in the name of fucking Jason Todd bullshit, lunatic, crazy. What is happening, Damien? What is happening on House of Glory? I know you're watching this along with me as well and everything. It looks like we're getting a lumberjack match code. Let me pull the audio up on that because right now I have the audio for SmackDown. So I've got Lio Rush coming out on House of Glory right now. Speaking of, House of Glory pulling in big names that aren't, on the AEW, on the WWE. We're getting Lio Rush coming out right now to the ring. The man who's retired almost as many times as Terry Funk and Ric Flair, I feel. They're saying that's awesome. Boss Monster, whatever. And it's interesting now we're getting a Papa John's commercial showing the Usos together. So can they not air that commercial anymore now if they fall out? Banana shout out. Pause on that. Your name keeps throwing me off, my guy. Was it Jay or Jimmy who actually feuding with Roman back in 2022? It was Jay initially. Remember, he was the right-hand man. He was the first one. He was the one that Roman pretty much goaded him into, you're either behind me, our father, your father, my father, the high chiefs of the, family are all behind me. So you're either with me or you're exiled from the family. And then he used Jimmy to make, Jay tap out and Jay say I quit and everything like that. And then it pretty much even came back way around the other way when Jimmy was kind of having to fall in line. So it was initially Jay that got involved with Roman because remember, Jimmy was out and everything. Usos in a Papa John ad. What? Yes, there were. Triple H filler racing show repeats of what's happened on the show. Fair enough. I'll give you that, Steve. I'll give you that. There's a 6-way match right now. Okay, fair enough. Do you mind telling me who's in it? Because so far the only person I know that I remember catching the entrances for is Encore and Lio Rush. But I do have the Viking Raiders, the Hot Topic Raiders, coming out right now. So we're getting them versus who just came out. See, there's so many goddamn commercials. I can't even remember who just came out before the commercial break there. But so, yeah. So the Brawling Brute. So give me your predictions, folks. Whether you're taking the Viking Raiders, the Hot Topic Raiders, the Viking Express, War Machine, War Raiders, Pick every name you want for them versus the Brawling Brutes. I'm going to take the Brutes here, honestly. It feels a little awkward to try and cheer for the Hot Topic Raiders right now. And I don't know what they're fully doing with them. If they build them up to be badasses and then they turn around and they lose and then they don't really have too many matches. I don't know. I got the Viking Raiders. Encore for the win of the 6-way match. Is you picking the 6-way match right now? Damien, I was asking you who's in it right now. Right now, I've got Encore and Lio Rush in the ring. Those are the only two that I know for a fact are in it. Los Vikingos. No, that's when you need what's his name there from AAA in there. Nick Gage, the new Domino spokesman. Maybe we'll see. I like that show. I want Raiders. Ryan, what up? Sup, Nick? Sorry I'm late. What I missed? Oh my lord. My favorite question. Not. So far you missed Roman calling out Jimmy and Solo saying, "Go find your brother now." The Strowman Express, Ricochet and Braun the Strowman picked up the win. They're number one contenders for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. And Charlotte Flair retained as SmackDown Women's Champion. Renfest Raiders. Yeah, that's not a bad show. I'm not taking the country bumpkin Sarah Logan. Fair enough. Well, no, now she's Valhalla. She's not Sarah Logan. She's not, Vlad the Impaler or anything like that. No, she's Valhalla, who also still, I guess, can't be in the Rumble or anything. Like I said, right now on House of Glory, I have Encore and Lio Rush in the ring. And I do also have Pete Dunne and Eric right now of the Hot Topic Raiders as Riz gets the tag in. That was fast and awesome. Appreciate you. Well, I try to be. I'm not. I wouldn't say exactly I'm the mouth of the South because I live up north. So I guess I'll say I'm mouth of the North. Pause on that. Walked in that one. Nick Gage, the most uninsurable man in the world. Even he can find a plan with Progressive to suit his needs. Fair enough. Vikings are terrifying. Yeah, but not these ones. These are the same ones that, were coming out to have a professional wrestling match and got beat up ever so faintly on the way to their professional wrestling match by the team they were about to face and then could not have the match. As we've got stereo beats of the Bowery right now on Eric. But yeah, that's the thing is it's always been a thing with the Viking Raiders of it's stop with them of they'll start to go for a little bit, they'll start to get a little bit of a bid, and then they just cool right the fuck off on them for some reason. Everyone ready for NXT tomorrow night? Fair enough. Shout out Ronnie. Yes, I will remind you folks, as like I said, we've got the 6-man tag match going on House of Glory. Damon, I'm still waiting for you to help me throw out with some names there. And we've got as we're going into another commercial again on SmackDown, as we've got the Brawling Brutes versus the Viking Raiders. We will be here tomorrow night covering NXT Vengeance Day. So absolutely be a friend, tell a friend. You want to tune in for that. Because like I said, we've got Grayson Waller versus Braun Breaker for the NXT tag title. We've got Roxanne Perez versus both Gigi Dolan and JC Jane for the NXT Women's Championship. And we've also got the Fatal 4-Way for the NXT tag titles involving the New Day as well. And that was just all off the top of my head, folks. It's 100% a stacked card. So absolutely, you want to be here because we're covering anything and everything when it comes to pro wrestling. Money, I could see that. She'd have that little guy with her. What? Cornball Vikings. Oh, Nick Gage versus Flo. Oh, no. That does sound like something that somebody in like GCW or XPW would book. They've booked the Invisible Man and all of that, and they had a social distancing match. So I could almost see that to where they'd have somebody dressed up as Flo. Alley Catch competing tonight. No, I don't believe she is. She competed last night on Wrestling Revolver for Night at the Moxbury, which, by the way, we were watching that. And we also had a special guest host with Luna Havoc. We finally covered Impact for y'all that were asking about it and everything like that. So absolutely go and check out that video. And Luna Havoc, spoiler alert, you didn't hear this from me, She will be back here next week as well, with us covering Impact. So make sure you want to tune in for that. And like I said, go back and check all the back catalog and everything like that, because we got interviews, we got podcasts, we got this, we got that, we got countdown shows, we got pre-shows, we got prediction shows, we got original shows, we got anything and everything you could ever need, folks. What? Kayla, what up? Looks like an easy win for Nick Cage from on the back. It's Jake from State Farm, but whose side is he on? Yes, the third man, Jake from State Farm. Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy. Yes, that's very much what I feel at this point. Is that it's going to be, if it's not Bray and it's not a figment of his imagination, what in the blue hell would it else be? I feel besides being Bo Dallas. Money, the bald guy from Liberty Mutual. No, there's not the bald guy from Liberty. You're talking about J.K. Simmons, J. Jonah Jameson there from the Spider-Man movies and everything, the Raimi ones. Well, and even actually the Marvel ones. But yeah, no, you got him, and then you got Emu the Limo there from whatever that one, or is that? No, you're thinking of Farmers, not Liberty. And Christ, we went down a whole rabbit hole here of talking about insurance companies and everything. See, yeah, we are Farmers. Dum 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 dum. The Geico Gecko the Geico Gecko. He's the special guest referee, or he's the ring bell guy, maybe guest commentator. Speaking of MLW, Holiday announced he has been diagnosed with cancer, Hodgkin's lymphoma, not retired, but out for a while. Well, very much T's and P's for the homie. It sucks to ever hear some news like that, but hopefully, I guess, speedy recovery and everything like that. As we are back from commercial break right now on SmackDown. Oh, Butch with the flip into the ring and the tag to Ridge. And I hate that I'm calling him Butch. It's Pete Dunne, goddammit. So Ridge right now in there again with Eric. So Ivar really hasn't been in the goddamn ring that much with this. Barrett just said Big Ridgy can do it. Pause on that. Oh, fair enough. Well, I don't follow MLW too much, so I mean, fair enough, I guess. The Gecko would regenerate any of the limbs. Nick would oh god, now all right, let's get back to the action, folks. Like I said, give me your prediction if you haven't already. We've got the Brawling Brutes versus the Viking Raiders. Give me your predictions. I've already said I've got to kind of take the Brutes on this, as we've got Ridge up with Alabama Slam on Ivar. Uno, dos, two count. Is Nduka getting looked at by WWE? Potentially. I think there's other names from MLW that might come over to WWE sooner rather than later. I'm still kind of hoping for Jacob Fatu, but I also think I'm amazed Alex Hammerstone isn't really a guy that WWE is trying to snatch up as fast as they possibly can. As lovely, my Fox feed just went out because of the lovely weather right now. So I'm going to try and pull that up, as I've got, like I said, House of Glory still going on right now. What do we got here? Yeah, we already got there. But while I am trying to get this working and everything like that, we had a man come out of the mist, out of the abyss. Where is it? Right here. I'm trying to find, if I can find a button. There we go. It's the other big homie, big on big action. Like I said, you never do this alone here. We got one half of the
What's happening?
I'm
here. I am here.
Wow.
How goes it?
It goes. It's been kind of a fast, well, almost a fast pace, but very much kind of a commercial heavy SmackDown so far.
Commercial as in actual commercials, or like Mountain Dew Pitch Black is sponsoring SmackDown commercial?
No, not in that way. As in like actual, like have a segment commercial break, have a entrance commercial break.
Okay, yeah, I just started live. I haven't watched anything before. I'm
That's fine
assuming
if you want to let the people know what's going on right now, because like I said, Fox apparently didn't like me right now. So I
okay.
got House of Glory pulled up, but Fox is cutting out.
Right now, we have Butch just got knocked off Ivar's shoulders by Eric. Eric is doing his best mean mug with eye black on,
Hot Topic Raiders.
Hot Topic Raiders. Just be War Machine, please.
Right, just somebody.
But Butch is about to get planted, and he did. And 1, 2, 3 Viking Raiders go over the Brawling Brutes.
Oof. So
big oof.
Yeah, I don't know how you feel about them right now, but I obviously haven't been a fan since they keep.
I personally love Eric and Ivar as a tag team. Like, you give me like ROH, NXT, War Machine, yes. I don't know. I don't need. I mean, here's the thing. I love pretty much everything Norse culture and Viking. I mean, you see, my whole left arm is Norse culture. So, excuse me. Oh, here comes McIntyre and Sheamus. Uh-oh. Here we go. Braun on the ramp. Drew and Sheamus and the Raiders.
Oh, Lord. So we're getting the Banger Bros.
Banger Bros on the Banger Bus.
All of the accusations. All of the NDAs.
False accusations.
Accusations.
So, also, for everybody watching, I apologize if my voice sounds awful right now. I was at Wrestling Revolver last night, and I lost my voice pretty much going into the main event, because for anybody that watched, we chanted, Let's Go Rascals, SGC, for a solid probably 5 minutes straight, like without stopping. Before the match even started. It was ridiculous. That match was so nuts. If you get a chance, if you got Fight Plus, even if you don't got Fight Plus.
I'll have to go back and watch that because I didn't.
Oh, if you watch anything, watch that main event. I mean, just think about it. Trey Miguel, Myron Reed, Zachary Wentz versus SGC. So, brawling crazy dudes versus flippy crazy dudes.
Right.
Oh my God, it was awesome.
And so I've got
so much blood.
Encore right now picking up the win on House of Glory. Speaking of Fight Plus and everything.
Is House of Glory on Fight Plus? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I'm still battling this weather and battling Fox, apparently. So.
Well, I have Fox pulled up. They're right now recapping the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match for some reason.
The longest payoff in booking history of the guy with the green shirt that's in the front row of every show just manages to look into the greatest spot there of having the Dago shirt.
I saw that after the fact.
That's the long-term storytelling we were getting.
He's been waiting for this moment his whole life.
This was my moment. Yeah, they weren't talking about the Uncle Howdy long-term storytelling or anything like that. They were talking about green shirt guy in the front row. Him and the
green shirt guy. Well, Uncle Howdy missed his spot, so.
Oh, he by a country mile. That man overshot that thing to shit.
Right. I actually might pull that up here. Because I got fight. Uh-oh.
Bray, what have they done to you? Yes. It's like the scene from The Godfather of what have they done to my boy?
So Bray was just sitting in a rocking chair, and Uncle Howdy came up and put his hand on his shoulder.
Yeah, I know.
And then went down and looked at the camera real quick, and then it cut. But he still had the mask on, so we don't know who it is.
Fair enough.
But I'm sure everybody will scrutinize and try to figure out who it is.
Oh, there'll be breakdowns of, eye color and everything.
Pixel by pixel.
Oh, absolutely. It was like that with the White Rabbit. And finally, Fox wants to work with me.
There we
shout out, I
go.
guess, this lovely northeastern weather that we're getting. I don't know how, cold it is out there where you are and everything.
It's
like negatives here.
It's pretty, I mean, it's not negatives, but it's pretty freaking cold. I think it was about 12 when I left the house this morning. It was not great. And it's pretty much been cold ever since.
Yeah.
So it looks like next up, we're in a commercial right now, but we're getting a match between Shotzi and somebody.
We're getting a fatal four-way of Natalya, Zelina Vega, Shotzi, and who is the fourth woman?
Is this the number one contenders?
To get into the Elimination Chamber.
Elimination Chamber, okay.
Yes, because they're doing that for a shot at Bianca at WrestleMania.
I like that. I think that's cool.
Well, it's interesting. It's also like how they're doing the U.S. title in the Elimination Chamber as well. It's nice that it kind of mixes it up versus it's always just, this is, the standard of, it's like the Hell in a Cell of, we just have the match because of the match, not it really is called for.
Right.
But I'm also getting a Jay Briscoe tribute video right now on House of Glory because, again, it's their first show of 2023, so it's in tribute to Jay Briscoe as well.
Yeah, I did see that. Hang on, let me...
You're good. I'll blitz through some of these. This SmackDown hasn't had anything good. Some crap we got last week. Am I in the minority here of actually that I kind of liked this SmackDown so far? I know you said you just got into it, but...
Yeah.
For everybody in the chat that's been watching along, I haven't minded it. I know it's been a little predictable a bit, but I think we're still just waiting for a payoff to the Roman Reigns, Sami Uso, Jey Uso storyline and everything, because we do still have it advertised that Roman's going to address the state of the bloodline.
Is that main event, I guess?
Probably, I would assume so.
I thought they were going to start with that, so I'm glad I didn't miss that. I mean, hopefully it's not something stupid.
No, so far the most you've missed of was Roman pretty much telling Solo and Jimmy, go find your brother now. You ain't going to find him on the couch.
Right.
Go find him.
What the heck,
That even saying totally agrees this SmackDown doo-doo. So apparently I am in the minority here. House of Glory, Jay Briscoe video package on. Absolutely. Again, T's and P's to the whole Briscoe family.
Watch live. Here we go.
I've enjoyed it so far. Good matches. Solid 7 so far. So see small mark on my side. So we got some back and forth. It's because some of us still drink the WWE Kool-Aid. Well, listen, boss,
I don't
say I drink the WWE Kool-Aid, but there's been plenty of times I've been on here lately, especially critical of WWE. So I know you don't, sir. You're the integrity for me when it comes to AEW. So
you know me. I'm a AEW shill through and through, baby.
It's how Tony got you those tickets to the Moxbury there.
I mean, you know who we're interviewing on Sunday, right? We're getting all of them. What? Cheap plug Sunday. Not going to be dropping Sunday, but we are recording Sunday. Dad World Order Podcast is going to be interviewing AEW producer BJ Whitmer. Buzzsaw BJ Whitmer. Current producer of pretty much all these banger women's matches that have been happening since October. He's been the producer on it. So that should be a really good interview, and I'm very excited for it.
Absolutely. Shout out the homies. Like I said, we got one half of the dads from DWO here tonight, so absolutely shout out the DWO. So what do you think about the whole Brock has heat because of his little temper tantrum storyline that they've floated out there now, as I'm getting another replay of Royal Rumble?
Oh, yeah, they're all about it. Royal Rumble, baby. So I didn't actually read into that. I saw a snippet of some, it was one of those, YouTube thumbnails of Brock Lesnar heat backstage WWE. I don't click on those because they're usually stupid. So I didn't see what the actual story was. I mean, is there anybody that's verified what happened, or is it all a bunch of hearsay?
I think it might have been Fightful or somebody, and I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, but it really, at the end of the day, was a story getting put out, like you said, a little clickbaity of he kind of threw more of a temper tantrum than they anticipated of taking the top off the announce table, taking the stairs, all of that, and it got heat, but it's Brock Lesnar. So
I don't understand how that would get heat.
It caught people off guard, and he might have injured an agent, I think, when they went over the barricade or something like that.
Well, I'll tell you this. That was one of the most interesting parts of the Rumble for me.
Oh, fair enough. When it comes
aside from that, the Rumble was kind of mid.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I need to ask you about this. What were your thoughts on Cody coming in at 30 and beating Gunther, who came in at 1?
I've flipped those and I'm happy. That's really what it should have been. I'm not even saying
that's what I'm saying.
That's the last person he has to beat type deal. If that's the way we're going to go.
Fine with Cody winning. I think that was the right call. But to me, it made him look like the biggest weenie on planet Earth, beating the guy that's been in there for over what was he in there, like 68 minutes or so?
Broke the record.
It was like an hour and 10 minutes, wasn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, hour 10 or 11 or something like that. Like I said, if he broke the record.
Oh, Natalya with her discus lariat, that's awful.
Yes, I will remind everybody, folks, we do have a fatal 4-way match going on right now on SmackDown. We've got Shotzi Blackheart versus Shayna Baszler versus Natalya Neidhart versus
Shotzi
Blackheart. Did I already say
all the hearts?
Yeah, all of the hearts and
all of the hearts and spades.
Zelina Vega as well.
Zelina's in this?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You wouldn't have noticed. But so who are you taking for this match, sir?
I think Shayna needs to be in Elimination Chamber. Shayna in Elimination Chamber, give me that all day long. Which that Elimination Chamber is already shaping up to be really good.
Oh yeah, because you've already got Asuka, Alexa, or Asuka, Raquel, Nikki Cross. Who else is in there? I feel like I'm missing.
They just showed it earlier. I can't remember who's all in there, but it's really good so far.
Yeah, so far in that you've got Asuka, Liv Morgan, Nikki Cross, and Raquel, and also you've already got Austin Theory, Seth Rollins, Johnny Gargano, and Bronson Reed announced for the U.S. title Elimination Chamber as well.
Yeah. Bronson Reed in the chamber, yes, please. He's going to be the one that goes. He's going to have the go through a pod spot.
Yeah.
There you go, Dale. Yeah, 1 hour left. Yeah, see, and that's the thing. Like, and maybe this is just me being, an extra, wrestling nerd, but coming in at 30. And beating the guy that's been in there. And I understand they wanted to make Gunther look awesome and everything, but it makes Cody look like a ding-dong.
It looks like a layup at that point.
Yeah.
We're in commercial on SmackDown. I've got a segment on House Score. But yeah, it looks absolutely. It just makes it look like an absolute layup of like even Banana saying here of number 30 entry beats number 1. What a weenie. Weenie Hunt Jr. Yeah,
L7 weenie. Foot long Dodger dog. A weenie.
But it's if you go back and me and KJ literally did a whole video of trying to predict spot by spot, entrant by entrant of who was going to come out and in what order for the Rumble. And I feel like we ultimately booked a better Rumble on both ends than what WWE delivered.
And I'm not saying the Rumble was definitely better than last year's, for sure. But it was one of those things where, like, I don't know, there just wasn't that much that happened. It was like the most boring possible way to get where we knew it was going to go.
Yeah, that's really no one's upset about the outcome. It's just you took the fucking long about, boring ass way to get there.
Right. So Damon, I'm going to be honest. I am not very proficient in House of Glory. Like, I know of them, but I don't know any of the feuds going on or anything like that.
So,
I have it pulled up right now. So
Detective James and Loki have kind of had a feud. The HOGPD, the Hog PD, have had kind of a long going back and forth with Loki for a hot minute here. And of course, because Loki's very much doing the whole, Agent 47 Hitman gimmick shit.
Is he still doing that? Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm very much going for Loki on this.
I would say Loki.
I think that he's always kind of been one of the top guys that House of Glory uses super frequently. Right. So I would take him to the win on that.
So can you key me in on this is me being a lapsed wrestling fan and not knowing my history, but why I keep hearing stuff every once in a while where people will be like, why isn't Loki here or there? Like, do the major companies not want to use him for some reason? Like, is he controversial in some way?
To me, it's been mostly what I've heard or felt like or whatever is that it's been his attitude a bit backstage of he's one of those of not exactly a fully in Austin Aries or anything like that. But
he doesn't think that
Tope from Shayna, but he's one of those of he takes himself very fucking seriously.
Right.
Like he lives his golden takes himself to 100%. This is me.
Yeah.
Big Rig might be having some technical issues. Actually, funny enough, Big
I'm
Rig's
here.
further southern than I am. Well, no, you'll
I'm froze.
Hear you, but you'll freeze. So it's just kind of catch it like perfectly to where you're just talking, but you're like, looking right at the camera. But
let me
more than me.
Here, give me a second.
No, you're good. Here,
I'm gonna.
But so, folks, while Big Rig tries and deals with the cold weather and everything like that, because like I said, it's a lovely day to be living on the East Coast of the U.S. As Karafuda clutch Natalia from Shayna after the miss on the discus clothesline, and we're getting a video package for Brian Keith right now, Bounty Hunter Brian Keith, absolutely. Oh, what the shit! Natty wins with the sharpshooter. I'm surprised it wasn't Natty really going after Shayna. Shayna's the one who broke her goddamn nose and everything. Natty just came out here back Divas title era Natty, I feel like. So in the women's elimination chamber right now, we've got Natalya Neidhart, Nikki Cross, Liv Morgan, Asuka, aka Kana, I guess shout out homie there with the Juggalo face paint, and Raquel Rodriguez. I'm gonna give a thumbs up, see if Rig's good to go. And we're getting another qualifying match between Piper Niven, Carmella, Mitchin, and Candice on Monday Night Raw. And again, like I said, folks, before, we will be here because we're here covering anything and everything. As we're talking, Heyman's talking to Roman right now, letting him know that Jay's phone went right to voicemail. You good, my guy? Okay.
So I just I was on Wi-Fi and I plugged my Ethernet in to see if maybe that cuts out the lag. Since I have,
you seem perfect, my guy. You probably are doing me right now. You're good.
I have YouTube and Hog running at the same time, plus this. So
fair enough. I got SmackDown, House of Glory, and I'm waiting to get Rampage pulled up as well. So Roman letting Jimmy and Solo know. You know how much I got on my plate right now.
I'm like a half second behind you.
No, you're good. Not a horrible wrestler, but horrible character. Who? More Bloodline discussion. He's letting them know, I love you. I'm sorry for speaking to you the way I did. Where was that with Sami? Where was that with Jay? Why are we getting this now?
Right.
Oh, this is very much, I'm going to pull you in as close as I can. So you're fucking cannon fodder for this shit.
So I was talking about this with Mike the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I think a cool story would be on the road to WrestleMania. Roman loses the rest of the bloodline bit by bit, and then at WrestleMania, he is just utterly alone.
Really?
And that's why he loses, because he has had them run in after run in after run in, saving his ass to save his titles. And when he pushes everybody away, he's utterly alone, and that's when he loses his title.
Fair enough. So that so up next we're gonna get Roman Reigns addresses the state of the bloodline as he sent Jimmy and Solo packing, but that's not a bad shout of that. It kind of just breaks down the story too. Roman can't do it on his own. He's needed his family backing him the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. The only contrary opinion I would say of that, it does, like I said there, if it makes Roman look a bit weak of that I can't do it on my own when if he's been this big tribal chief, it's a double-edged sort of, well, he's got to look like a badass, but at the same time, he could look like, a paper tiger of, well, I've just had everybody propping me up this whole time.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think at this point, there's so many people that are just ready to see him lose. And, in my opinion, anyway.
Fair enough. Well,
and I just think that it would be a cool story, which would also provide a redemption arc if he's so alone. He pushes everybody away, loses his title. And that leads to, okay, I really do need my family type thing, something like that.
Does a babyface run of the bloodline potentially?
Maybe.
Well, Gary does bring up an interesting point here of theoretically Paul Heyman is the cause for all this dissension.
100%.
So is it maybe Paul setting up the next Paul Heyman guy?
Could be.
Maybe it was me, Roman. It was me all along.
Paul Heyman was there at the beginning, whispering in his ear. That's how this all started.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, it's almost time for AEW Rampage tonight. Yes, we're about 15 minutes away as I've got Loki coming out to the ring right now on House of Glory. I actually just ordered that shirt, by the way. Legit. Had no even idea. I
love this shirt.
I ordered that and the "I'm better than you and you know it" the striped the pinstripe,
the button up.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure this might have been my first purchase from Shop AEW.
Fair enough. I don't blame you. Well, I will shameless plug of you should check out shop.wrasslin for life. I'm sure the link's in the video.
There you go.
But WWE loves Barry and Selena. Well, it's not really hard when they're already pretty much laying in the fucking grave themselves. Just being honest there. There's a very good match on House of Glory. Detective James versus Loki. Yes, Damien, that's what I was getting to. So if you want to give us your predictions, folks, whether you're taking Detective James or Loki, and shout out homie in the fucking front row at House of Glory with the same jersey I got, but I'm taking Loki for this.
So what is House of Glory almost like old school ROH, but like now?
It's a bit interesting. They do, they've kind of got, their regular names and everything like that. Like Loki's kind of one, main events one. Like I said earlier, I believe Sami Callihan and Jessica Havoc have been on there quite frequently. Yeah. They do a lot of they don't have a weekly show or anything like that, but they do a lot of like vignettes and everything, more cinematic stuff that they'll put on social media to do their storytelling. So that's why like you've got a PD gimmick versus, an Agent 47 hitman gimmick of it's a bit more, it plays in that kayfabe. So it is a bit like Ring of Honor, like you said.
Okay. Well, I just didn't know if like I think I was more leaning towards how you said, like, do they have like a roster? Because I know, like, obviously the Briscoes and like I've seen Lucha Brothers wrestle there and stuff like that. Doesn't Jacob Fatu wrestle for him?
Yeah,
he's a world
their
champion right now.
He's
Yeah.
going to be in the
Okay.
main event versus JTG.
Okay. Oh hell yeah,
Yes.
JTG baby.
As we're getting a fatal 4-way next week between Madcap Moss, Drew McIntyre, I believe Rey Mysterio, and I might have missed the last name there. Fatal 4-way for the winner faces Gunther for the IC title, as I've got Roman coming out right now. Yeah, it almost has a kind of regular roster, but they also do float in like indie guys like Brian Keith's on tonight. Viva Van was on earlier tonight. And that was kind
Brian
of their debut appearance. So
that I feel like that dude's getting signed this year for sure.
I'm amazed he hasn't already. Honestly,
that's what I'm saying. Like he's been anywhere and everywhere. Was he in the semifinals or he won Bola? I believe, at least in the semifinals. I want to say. No, Speedball won Bola.
Yeah, but so I'm saying it was.
He was up there. He was up there. Yes. Yeah, which that was another name I got to see last night. They did a six person scramble. Speedball, Gringo Loco, Jessica, Tyler Matrix. Who else was in there? There was some guy that. Really young kid. It was like Jay Diaz or something like that. Nate Diaz, something like that. But that was gnarly.
But we've got look at the new shirt on Roman of it. It's got him in the suit with Paul right behind him. But yeah, so like Banana says here, we the ones. So absolutely at this point, use that one finger. Make sure you hit that, like button, that subscribe to all the buttons and everything.
That's right.
But so we've got the State of the Bloodline address coming up. Yeah,
Charles. Right, so we got time. We got time for a nap before Roman talks. Right, he's still got about 15 minutes on his entrance.
Oh, yeah, you got a couple minutes, and then we'll go to commercial. Before we get to this, I feel with the way that tonight's been going, but Charles Mason's another kind of regular on House of Glory as well.
Yeah, and he's done a lot of GCW stuff too, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, well he's got a long running feud with Alley Catch,
right?
That you introduced, got the video for KJ. And
did you like that? That was awesome.
That was awesome.
I could not help myself. Like we were there after. After the show, just out there talking to all the talent and stuff, and she was there, and I was like, "Can you do me a small favor?" I was like, "My friend's a really big fan of yours, and he's not here, so I need you to give him shit that he's not here." And she was like, "Oh yeah, I can do that." And she was like, "So why is afterwards?" She's like, "So why isn't he here?" I was like, "He's in Canada." And she was like, "Oh well, come on." I was like, "It's still gonna be funny."
Right. It's kind of impossible for him to make it here, but
right.
But yeah, so it's Ray versus Madcap versus Cross versus Santos. Thank you.
That'd be a good one.
But so, Small Mark asked this question. I'll ask you: do you think we get Sami, KO, or Jay tonight with this whole segment? Like, what is this segment? Is this just a 10, 15-minute promo from Roman?
I don't know. We're at an hour 48. I mean, we still got 12 minutes.
Yeah.
I think Jay comes out.
Interesting. He's almost got to address it at some point here.
Mm-hmm.
He's had the stuff go out that he's out. And listen to the heat right now that Roman's getting. It's back to that when he beat The Undertaker and I've got you eating out of the palm of my hand. It was good to hear, oddly enough, the fuck you Roman chants, because that's what he's needed is to actually get heat back. Acknowledge me. There we go. And you still get a pop for that. Like, he's the top guy in this industry, bar none.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of boos in there. Not as many cheers after acknowledge me.
I don't need you to cheer. I don't need
No. I'm glad he's getting. I'm glad that they're boos now. Right. That was one of the things that bugged me. It was the same thing that bugged me with MJF when he came back after All Out. I couldn't stand how, because it's just a smart mark crowd where we know that you're a heel, but we love you, and we're just glad you're back, so we're going to cheer you. No, you're supposed to boo him.
Right. But the Sami chants are deafening as Roman's like, well, I was going to ask you what we should talk about. I was going to, come out here.
Almost trying to pull the Cody thing. So what do you guys want to talk about?
Right. But instantly, the second that the boo stopped for Roman, you get Sami. That has to be. I almost don't like that it's at Elimination Chamber. I get that it's in Montreal and everything like that.
Right.
But that's a Mania match. That's a Mania match at this point. The only way you can do that is if you get someone like a Dwayne or somebody that's going to have that superstar power. There's two sides to every story, so you're going to hear them out. So we're going all the way back.
So I predicted this a while back. I don't know if it's going to happen or not.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if they were going to do Rocket Mania, which this plays into him being utterly alone at Mania, Sami takes.
We're getting the what chance. We saw Greed. What?
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 You know what I saw? What? I saw Greed. What? I like that Roman's though. He's no selling it. If people get caught up in the what chant and go back and forth, if he's just, I'm gonna talk right the fuck over it. What can I do for you?
He's such. I love it. This was the heel Roman that I love. The narcissistic a-hole.
Oh, he's 100%. He's the Tony Soprano in this whole shit.
Yes, nothing is ever my fault. It's everybody trying to eat out of the palm of my hand.
Look what everything that I did for Sami. Oh, Sami! Sami with the mask. Sami coming out with the hood and just wailing on Roman.
Oh, I'm like 10 seconds behind you then.
Oh, you're going to pop when you see
Sami, let's go! Get him!
Sami Zayn. And he's even got the duct tape shirts where he's got Zayn over Uso. And the crowd's losing.
Yes!
Roman getting back in control now. So we've got Sami Zayn jumping Roman right now.
All right, then.
Stomping a mud hole on him right now, though, Roman. And I still like this, like you said, of even the little mannerisms of like the little twitches and the tweaks of like, hold on, let me get it together now.
Yeah.
Heyman grabs a chair. It's so funny because I still feel like I know. Oh, spear from Sami! Deep clear of a spear from Sami Zayn. Even
Here
Michael
comes the
Cole,
chair. Oh, good spear. Good spear.
Sami. How can you say that at this point? We've gotten Sami Zayn coming out right now and showing that
Uso no more. He's got the chair up. Oh!
You're wrong about me. Oh, good promo from Sami. I never wanted anything from you until now. So this is where we're going to get it set up of Sami versus Roman at Elimination Chamber. Oh, Jimmy with the super kick, and now Solo and Jimmy just laying waste to Sami. So is this now where we get KO comes out, and then we get maybe Jay comes out? So right now the rest of the bloodline just.
So here's what I loved was the fact that Jay was the one that didn't turn immediately on. Jimmy was his buddy the whole time, and he turned on him immediately. But Jay, the one that was so against him, no, I'm gonna walk away from this.
Jay, the one that hated the idea of
right.
Sami being in the bloodline.
Yep.
The one that stood up for him. Roman stops Solo from pilmanizing Sami's neck in the corner. But yeah, it was Jay that didn't want Sami in the bloodline, that it was always against Jay, and he's the one that stopped, Solo at the trial of Sami, and then gets out of the ring and is in tears when they're attacking Sami.
Right.
The crowd chanting, "We want Jay."
So my prediction was that Sami doesn't take both of them. He just takes one of them in Montreal. And that's when Roman really starts to crack. And that's leads to him pushing other people away. And that's what brings The Rock out saying, like, you're losing it. You're not the head of the table. I am. And that's what sets up Rock and Roman at WrestleMania.
Maybe, because right now we've got Roman just cutting a whole promo to Sami in the corner there of, you hear that? They want Jay, but I don't have Jay. I don't have him because of you. I don't have my right-hand man because of you. You messed up my whole bloodline. Everything that I feel that they've done with Roman and this whole bloodline storyline, again, it's very Days of Our Lives-ish a bit. It's very Sopranos, Game of Thrones, but it's been played to a fucking T perfectly, I feel.
Okay, so here's where Elimination Chamber is going to be good no matter who wins between Sami and Roman. Sami wins, that place is going to explode. Roman wins,
you're going to get stuff thrown in the ring.
Nuclear heat. Nuclear.
Well, that's even part of why they were saying that they put the U.S. title in the Elimination Chamber and everything like that, because we were going to get Roman versus Sami and nothing else is going to compete with that.
Nope.
But so that's how SmackDown goes off the air right now, folks, of Roman just cutting a whole promo to Sami Zayn in the corner after he spared him from at least getting pilmanized by Solo, as we're getting Brian Keith versus Charles Mason right now on House of Glory, and we've got AEW Rampage coming up right now, folks. So give us your ratings for SmackDown. Let us know what you're thinking. I know I had a lot of people sitting there saying, oh, it was trash, all of that. I don't agree with that at all. I think it was actually a pretty solid SmackDown across the board. Like I said, if you could kind of see where they were going to go with stuff, but it still delivered.
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of promo main events, but I get why that was the main event. So I mean, I can handle it. I'll have to watch the first half of the show, but I don't know. We'll see.
Enough. Absolutely. No, I think it was a solid show. I'll give it. I know somebody said it before. I'll give it a 7. A 7.5. It was pretty solid. It was pretty predictable. Like, you knew Charlotte's going to win. You knew. I wouldn't say even you knew. Braun and Ricochet were going to win, but it was a good show across the board. I feel Natalya winning was a surprise out of left field. I feel. Yeah. Obviously, I think the main focus of tonight was dealing with everything from the bloodline. That's all anyone was paying attention to, anyways. So if we weren't worried about any other matches that were popping off, anything like that. But we got a 3.5 out of there. Okay. Natty winning was a letdown. Damon taking Charles Mason. We got a 7.8, a 6.7. Oh, well, we're getting all into the specific
6.75 Usos.
Oh God. Yeah, how Usi are you feeling tonight? Did the Uso brothers leave the bloodline? No, just Jay allegedly.
Just Jay.
Supposedly.
And really, he didn't even confirm that he left. He just didn't join in beating the shit out of Sami.
Well, and he did also put it out on Instagram and everything like that of saying, I'm out. All of that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
We'll see. We'll see. I saw you people running with other shit and just making up quotes from him about that. What up, Jason? 7.5.
Starting off with the trios on Rampage.
Let's go. 8 out of 10. And I like this. But my Sami Uso shirt. Well, you can just take some duct tape there and just put Zayn, just marker Zayn on top of that, and you're all set there.
Here we go. Here we go.
What a shame. No good match today. Only the Roman and Sami was good. No, I would say that you still had good matches, but I still feel like I get what you're saying of that was the focus, I feel, of tonight. 8 out of 10. Yeah, we're kicking off, folks. We just wrapped up SmackDown. Now we've got Rampage, and I'm still got House of Glory going on. But we're kicking off with the AW Trios match. We've got the Elite versus the Firm of Ethan Page, Matt Hardy, and you're going to have to help me out with which member of Private Party this is.
Isaiah Cassidy.
There we go. As you said that, I just literally looked down and read it. But the Elite. Well, there you go. I needed that. Shayna needs a belt. Shayna, that's who I would have thought would have won the qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber. But so who are you taking, sir, and why is it the Young Bucks that I know when it comes to the Elite versus the Firm?
Well, if the Elite lose their trios titles on a taped Rampage, I think we would have heard about it.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm sure this will be a fun one, though. This is one of those matches that everybody in it is enjoyable to watch. And, I mean, that's kind of what Rampage has become. Yeah, there's some progression of storylines, but, I mean, ultimately it's matches that, you know, I just watched 2 hours of Dynamite. Yeah, go ahead.
Right.
Rampage has become a I don't even know what you want to call it. Like, it's almost like a house show sometimes. Like, you have by the way, if y'all are commenting, I cannot see the comments, so I apologize if I can't respond to you. I'll have Nick pull them up when he gets back. But we got Kenny Omega and Matt Hardy in the ring right now. Matt Hardy, no. Kenny going for a V. Nope. Matt Hardy spins Kenny out of the ring. Here comes Kenny. Matt Hardy bounces. Ooh. He just sent Kenny right into that guardrail. Stokely Hathaway laughing on the outside. Matt Hardy going all the way up top. What are we getting here? What are we getting? Ethan Page doing his thing. Well, you know what? Go ahead. Leave it in the comments. What are your predictions for this match? I'm pretty sure everybody's going to have the same, but I'm going to go with the Elite for sure. Ethan Page. I'll tell you what, that's a singles match I would really like to see is Ethan Page and Kenny Omega.
I thought that's where we were going to... Well, that's not a bad shout. I was about to say...
I think that'd be really good. Like, it's not one many people would think of, you know?
Right. It very much has the potential of... Ethan Page, I feel like, is honestly pretty underrated when it comes to their roster.
I agree.
And I guess speaking of underrated, I've got Brian Keith just smacking the dog shit out of Charles Mason right now
in the corner.
Did Brian Keith not remind you that Swisher House is a thing? Because he's the Swisher House champion, everything, and I haven't thought about Swisher House ever since Hoop Mike Down.
Mike Down.
But he's the guy I could see that. Honestly, I think he would be more of a fit in AEW. To be honest,
God, that backbreaker.
A gimmicky, driven character. So, not saying it's bad, but I just don't think it's WWE wants to own all your characters.
Right. They want to own your freaking name, for crap's sake.
That's how we got that Bearcat as we're about to drop kick, and then the Tope Con nut shot there from Nick Jackson over Matt Jackson.
Northern Lights into another one. Nope.
I like this.
Tell him, Ethan.
Rampage starting out strong. Ian saying, it's the first time watching you guys. I give you guys a 9 out of 10. Keep up the good work. Ian.
Oh, hell yeah, Ian.
So far. I was hoping for a 10.
I'm not usually here, so I like that rating. Heck yeah.
I want a 10, damn it.
I am
shout out. Appreciate it. Appreciate anybody that tunes in.
Yeah.
30 seconds, 5 hours. Christ, I think we're just
appreciate you. Appreciate you being here with us.
Absolutely.
It's always enjoyable when you got people to watch with.
Right.
Paul Wall, the people's champ.
Back then, Vince didn't want me. Now I'm hot. He's all along.
What it do, baby? It's the Iceman Paul Wall. Got everybody's mouth looking like a disco ball. That was my jam back in the day.
Right.
See, that's what. So pull that comment back up about the trios, if you could.
Which
they always deliver.
Yeah.
So I fully agree with that. Now, I just want to bring this up. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like that takes away from what used to be a really awesome tag division in AEW?
Because the people that are in charge of the tag division, because they're literally EVPs of the company, are now involved in the trios division. So why would I book
here? We're going to shift the focus
the trios
over to the trios, and I don't think it's horrible, but I think this gives them an opportunity to, a lot of your big-time tag teams from 2021, 2022 are now in trios teams. Let's make the tag division, let Cool Hand Ange and Daddy Magic have some tag matches, like they're a good tag team. I'm not saying they got to win titles, but bring up some of these. I know they're not Bear Country anymore. Are they Iron Savages now or something? Bronson and Boulder.
Honestly, you had me at Bear Country. I knew who you were talking about, and then once you started changing names, I started thinking of the hot.
But some of the dark teams that are actually good teams, give them some time in the spotlight.
Well, but you still have the Acclaimed and everything, so it's wouldn't you quit? It gets this whole convoluted back and forth though of if you had the Young Bucks versus the Acclaimed, that's going to be a hell of a match, but you can't have that now because of trios. So Bear Country are Iron Savages, yes.
Okay, I thought so.
There. Now we're getting better. 9 out of 10. Subscribing and liking. So everyone be like Ian. What?
Go to like and subscribe. Dead World Order Podcast. Please and thank you.
Mason with a 2 count. And so what do you feel about what they're doing with Matt Hardy right now? Because it's he's just floating in the ether.
So here's the thing. I think that you need to watch Dark and Elevation religiously to understand what's going on. Because apparently, from what I've seen, it's actually a really good story with him and Ethan Page and everything. But it's something that's 98% of it has been on Dark and Dark Elevation.
So then either A, why is it on your main show? Or B, why is it not been on your main show?
I agree. And I think a lot of that is it's just going to boil down to they need more main TV time. You know what I mean?
But Tony don't got that apparently. Well, I know you were kind of talking about Rampage and everything when I just ran off to use the gentleman's room and everything real quick there. But to me, it should be Rampage should be the week-to-week Ring of Honor show, and then
we've talked about that before for sure. Yeah,
and it forces you to now you've only got 2 hours, what have you.
Right.
Put your good shit out there.
From what I've heard, it sounds like they're going to be filming Ring of Honor at the Orlando studio.
Got you. So we're going back to, again, the full old school WCW. We're going to have the taped Ring of Honor moonsault from Kenny for a 2.
Well, I mean, the Ring of Honor TV is going to be on Honor Club until they can get a TV deal. So,
wasn't that the whole reason we got Jericho versus Ring of Honor?
I think that's what they were trying to do, and I don't think they ended up landing a deal.
Freebird, I feel like you halfway backslid into an actual hilarious comment here of what a hot crowd on Dynamite, because this is obviously taped after Dynamite, but is it my TV? But I literally am just seeing everyone just ho-hum. You've got people leaning up on the barricade.
So I've actually been to a few AEW shows, and I'll say this. By the time Rampage comes on, you're pretty exhausted. Like, you've already been there for 3 hours, because a lot of the time you go and you watch Elevation before you watch the full Dynamite card. So by the time Rampage comes on, unless you have a really, really good match, you're pretty exhausted by that point.
That's a problem, as we got stereo swantons from Nick Jackson and Isaiah Cassidy. But yeah, you shouldn't. That's too much wrestling in one night. Too much wrestling in one night.
I agree, and that's that's what stinks.
Dynamite
but
and Rampage.
Here's the other thing, is that's one of the things that a lot of the talent have said they like. They like that they're not traveling, 320 days out of the year. They travel to one town.
And you split the roster, Mr. I don't have time.
Hey, if they give Rampage 2 hours, then you split the roster. Until then, no.
It's Warner. I bet you they'd probably go with it, as we're getting a faint "This Is Awesome" chant. But C Money here letting us know the ins and outs of the Matt Hardy Ethan Page story of I watched Dark and Elevation, and whoever told you that Ethan Page versus Matt Hardy storyline is interesting has a low bar for interesting.
I'm just going by comments I have seen from the internet wrestling community, who, as we know, has no opinions whatsoever.
There's so much wrestling to try and sit there and keep up with Dark Elevation and everything. Dude,
I have trouble if I miss one of the main shows being able to go back and watch it. Like I don't have the time, man.
Ian, thank you for stopping in.
Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate you.
AW spoils the pops and exhausts the crowd by taping those Dark Elevation shows before the live Dynamite. 100%.
I don't know about that. Like, not for Dynamite. I would say for Rampage, you're exhausted by then. But like the Elevation stuff, like I said, I've been there for it. It's not like we're all going nuts for the Elevation matches. Like,
but would you not essentially get a bigger reaction on a Dynamite if that was the first bit of wrestling they got of the night versus I've already watched essentially 2 hours of wrestling?
Here's what I wish they would do. Just have a dark match. You don't need to have a full hour of dark matches. Just have one or two dark matches before the main card, which warms you up a little bit.
Right.
And then you're good. But the whole full hour, it's exhausting.
Yeah, a bit there. Well, it's like when I've been to SmackDowns when they would, I guess more with like Rampage, and when they turn around and when they would tape 205 Live afterwards and all that, when that was still a thing. that's when you could see people literally file out of like, well, I've seen what I need to see here.
Right.
2 count, as we've still got Keith and Mason going on House of Glory. Both men fighting on the outside. Keith dumped over the barricade. What a trios match on Rampage. King, what up? Well, like you said, this is a predictable outcome, but
poor Isaiah Cassidy.
Right to the back of the head there.
Oof. Night, Isaiah. One Wing Angel.
You knew the
and then a BTE trigger. Jesus.
One Wing Angel.
Oh, triple BTE trigger. Yeah. Night, Isaiah. 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. Elite win.
Oh.
That knee to the back of the head. Woo.
Would you rather take that or the hidden blade?
Oh, God. That's tough, dude.
Top flight.
Because that's the thing. Here's the thing. I've seen that hidden blade live, and it looks just as gnarly live as it does on TV.
Oh, I imagine.
Absolute.
Saying, yeah, it's like going to a concert and sitting through 8 openers before the headliner. You get burnt out.
Yeah.
But we've got Mason and Keith right now up on the announcers table, which is like in the fucking 18th row in the back there.
Right.
But oh god,
setting up
trigger.
Guardrails.
But we've got Ricky Starks.
What do you think about Ricky running the gauntlet next week?
What about a gauntlet? What?
What do you think about him running the gauntlet next week?
I'm waiting to see him start to be. I still think he's going to be the one that ultimately takes the title off of MJF.
Oh, that was my prediction. My prediction is he takes it at next winter is coming and saves it before MJF contract comes up.
They do the Cena CM Punk thing of, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to WWE as the AEW World Champion.
Yep. And that's where Ricky is the savior that saves the belt from being taken.
Right.
Not saying MJF's going to go, but he's going to lean into I'm leaving.
Oh, yeah, you worked that angle. This whole feud was meant for him and Punk. So I feel. But we're in commercial right now on Rampage, as I've still got.
We got
Mason
Bounty Hunter throwing Mason back in the ring.
But so already Rampage coming out of the gate hot, of like you said earlier, of that outcome predictable, but it was still a hell of a match.
That's what I like about Rampages are nice because I don't feel like I have to watch them live. I can wake up on Saturday morning and make myself a cup of coffee and enjoy essentially a house show with some storytelling, you know, like there.
But isn't that what Dark and Dark Elevation is supposed to be?
Yeah, but it's not.
All right.
I know what it's supposed to be, but it's not. I mean, there are. Don't get me wrong.
That's the biggest thing about AEW. I know what it's supposed to be, but it's not.
There are. Ooh, Mason's got Keith and a freaking.
They've got the Hajime, the Coquina Clutch, the Sleeper Hold.
Oh.
Keith doing the right, like spurts. I was trying to do it without looking awkward as shit on stream.
I'll look awkward for you.
I like this. How's Clarence Mason looking these days?
Hold on, did they just call it?
Yeah. They gave him the pass out spot. I mean,
wow.
I mean, if you're gonna have Mason go over, because Mason's the regular, and you're not gonna have Keith look weak, although I mean, I think taking an L any kind of fool, and I do mean any kind of fool, you do look a little weak to Mason. I've just never been a fan of him, but so they gave him the pass out spot. Interesting.
So what is Mason? Is he like the cult leader gimmick, or
if you had Norman Bates and gave him a buzz cut.
Okay.
I feel like, yeah, that's kind of his gimmick of he's the one that'll come out. Like we watched a GCW show to where he literally sat there and got jobbed out by by Effie, by Alley Cash, by pretty much the whole roster. They literally called it at one point of everyone wins except for Charles Mason.
All right, and they are beating the absolute tar out of Brian Keith
they've
right now.
duct taped his legs together. Now they're duct taping their hands together. Easy money, says boss. Adam Cole's charisma is off the charts. Fair enough. I don't know where we got on to Adam Cole. Adam Cole becomes AW champion eventually. Well, eventually I could see that, yeah.
Yeah.
Rampage been killing it. Very good show. Plus the people in the crowd always been crazy. Are you watching the same show I am?
So here's the other here's the other thing I'll say. After being at a show, it's not every single week, but they are not the best at miking the crowd. Like, there are times where I'll go back and watch the show I was at, and I know that it was hot the whole time we were there, and it doesn't sound like it. It's very odd. They need to work on that.
Well, again, like I said, with AEW, it's you know what it's supposed to be, but it's not. And I just feel like you're seeing this is what the 5th, 6th hour these people have watched wrestling at this point. So you've got everybody just sitting there leaning against the barricade, going to the concession stand of just for fuck's sake.
So here's what I'll say. Because I find myself forgetting this.
Real quick, I will say Charles Mason is now kidnapping Brian Keith. But, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's very viable information. That's all right. Get after it, Charles. Danhausen's very upset with Double J. And here comes the hometown Cincinnati boy, Flying Brian.
Well, sorry, you were.
I was saying what I forget about. AEW is only 4 years old, and
past 3.
So I feel like there's still going to be growing pains. I think like there's some stuff that like okay that's inexcusable, but there's other stuff where I'm like okay they're still building into that type thing. Like, it's not going to be the production level showmanship of WWE. It's just not.
I don't need that. But what I do need is are we really having Slapnuts feud with Danhausen over the goal of the Global Force Golden Globe?
Here's what I'll say: if they're gonna force Jeff freaking Jarrett onto my TV. Have a feud with Danhausen. Go ahead. That's fine. I don't need them in any title pictures. Preferably, I'd like him to not be on my TV screen at all.
That's the main thing.
My silver lining is if he's going to be, then put him in a comedy feud. That's fine.
Well, Jeff Jarrett is comedy, so...
Well, that's subjective.
To Stevie Wonder. But so we're getting Flying Brian, Brian Pillman Jr. versus Swerve Scott. And I believe right now we've got the main event on House of Glory. Should be
JTG
versus Jacob Fatu. So folks, give us your predictions whether you've got Flying Brian, the not Hawaiian, Brian Pillman Jr. versus Swerve, or Jacob Fatu versus Jacob or versus GTG.
Dude, Parker doesn't have his chain on. How are people going to know who he is?
He's not, doing the overselling of the back rake and all of that. Do we still really have a name for buff ass Tom McDonald that's over there with them? Of literally,
No, they gave him a name on Dynamite. I can't remember what it was, though. I think it was like Trench or something stupid.
Oh, God. Don't ever try and come close to comparing yourself to fucking taking a name like Tretch or anything like that. Now I'm just thinking of Slam. Da, da, da. But
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it started with a T, and I'm pretty sure it was Trench.
Well, that's where this fucking faction should be left. Is it dead in a fucking trench somewhere?
I'll say this. I love Swerve. I absolutely love Swerve. If anybody can pull this off, it's him.
Well, I liked his whole back and forth with Dustin and your brother. Well, fuck it. Like, of just him just digging into the whole Rhodes family. That's, I think, where we're going.
He posted on Instagram a couple days after the Rumble. He like composed a bunch of like everybody congratulating Cody on the win. Like a bunch of tweets, and then it was his tweet, and it just said, fuck the Rhodeses.
Nice. So, Swerve for the win. Swerve is gold. Can we get a Jericho versus Jarrett loser leaves AW match? Only in my dreams, I feel. That is a V match through and through.
That is that. Look at the smile. Look at the smile you just put on Nick's face.
Exactly, and
he's gonna have to go take another bathroom break thinking about that match.
Fuck you.
Pause.
Pause. Jacob Fatu for the win. So I'm taking Swerve.
Dude, I'll say this: JTG is fucking jacked.
It's surprising I know everybody thinks of we're bringing it, Crime Time and everything like that. He's a whole other human being right now.
Right.
The JTG you saw back in 2000, whatever the fuck.
No,
he is the man in the ring right now.
He is a freaking super athlete, dude.
I'd ask this question of who's more Jack, Swerve or JTG, but I'll take JTG.
I agree with that, King. They do have really good chemistry together.
So who you taking, Swerve or Pillman?
I'd say Swerve.
Oh, for half a second I thought you were going to go with the hometown boy. Well, almost hometown boy there.
No. I mean, for really all this is going to do is Pillman is the hometown boy. Technically, they're in Dayton during this, so all it's just going to do is get Swerve more heat by beating Pillman. So
fair enough. Is it interesting? This is the most we've seen Pillman in a hot minute on AEW.
So here's what I don't get is they never really showed the Blondes breaking up. It was just like, hey, we're taking their varsity name, and then they were gone.
Julia Hart went goth, and then Pillman got chewed out by MJF, and I feel like that was kind of the end of that. But where's Griff Garrison, for the fuck's sake? But what's his name?
The last time I saw them was at the Cincinnati show. They were on Dark Elevation.
I'm waiting for them to pair him up with Brody, whatever the fuck his name is there, that was on NXT in Chase U that they released, because I know he debuted for AEW. So put him and Griff Garrison together.
Oh, Bodie or whatever his name was?
Yeah, Bodie, no one cares.
So I don't super follow NXT, but from what I've seen, the Duke Hudson and Andre Chase combo has been pretty fun to watch. Am I correct on that?
It's been super interesting. They've kind of been the Animal House of NXT a bit.
Yeah.
So, ultimate prediction: who you taking, Jacob Fatu or JTG?
I'm gonna say Fatu. From what I've seen, he's like super over in pretty much every promotion he's in right now. But I still think this is going to be a fantastic match.
See, I agree with everything you just said. I'm just going to put a different spin on it. This is 100% going to be a fantastic match. I think Jacob Fatu loses to JTG because I think we might see Jacob Fatu somewhere else in the not too distant future.
Yeah.
Potentially wearing a black and red t-shirt and, very much pointing up one specific finger for quite a while. And that might
He's been doing stuff on. He's been doing stuff online too. I don't know what his contract status is with MLW. So,
and this might be, like I said, of me fully smoking the hopium and everything like that. But Jacob Fatu is a fucking star and has been. It's almost a crime that he's not been on some major promotions weekly television.
How long before we see Zilla somewhere? Umaga's kid. I know he just started training at Booker T's school, but I think he's on NXT within a couple years.
Oh, yeah. I would honestly, I'm surprised he's not just training. Well, and especially if he's under Booker, I bet you he's still getting some reps and everything at the Performance Center.
At the Performance Center, yep.
100%. That a kid like that with that lineage and everything has a big fucking backbreaker, neck breaker.
Well, and just think about that story you can tell down the line of Zilla coming in and having a feud with Solo. Like,
make him a fucking tag team.
Well, that, or you could do the, you took my dad's move or something. You know what I mean? Like, some shit like that.
My name is Zilla Fatu. You mimic my father.
Yes.
That's what it would be. Because, I mean, Solo's still his uncle and shit, so it's still
right.
Like, well, it's like,
prepare to die.
You took Dad's watch. I wanted Dad's watch type shit. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
You're fighting over inheritance of moves.
Well, I don't know about you, but Solo looks so much like Rikishi, it's stupid.
Yes.
Like, compared to Jimmy and Jay, I feel like Solo looks more like Rikishi than anybody.
He's more rotund and not Wyndham Rotunda?
It's because he's a fatty.
Scott Steiner, fat asses. No, I could see it. He's if you took Rikishi and melded him with Umaga, that's that.
Ooh, there's the stomp.
I want to see Adam Cole versus Swerve.
That'd be good.
They're shouting out the munch.
Did they ever have a match in NXT?
Cole and Swerve. I feel like they probably did. I feel like that must have happened. As speaking of the devil, and Swerve picks up the win there. As I've got Fatu and JTG back on the outside. Again, saying what a match. Yeah.
And we got to put the hoods up. I don't know.
Well, are we getting a Keith Lee versus Swerve Strickland match eventually? I fucking hope so.
Oh, yeah.
That's how you always perpetrate a crime. After your face has already been on fucking camera.
Hey, I just spotted KJ in the crowd at Rampage.
What? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I just saw, dude.
Did you see what I'm talking about?
If you're watching, we're at 33 minutes into Rampage. The homie looks exactly like you, dog. Like, not even trying to take the piss, just exactly like you.
Dustin Rhodes coming out with a loose turnbuckle, no big deal.
Right.
Not a chair, not a kendo stick, loose turnbuckle.
I mean, it's unique. And when the fuck do you see?
That's a Rhodes move if I've ever seen one, bud.
Stage and just shit. What can I grab? A five.
Yep.
Positive rap.
Uh-oh. House of Black promo.
Oh. Well, I've got Jacob Fatu right now in control. Ooh. Do you think Eddie joins them? I've heard that.
I don't know. Oh, hold on.
See the three faces.
The house does not want Eddie.
That's fine, because I want Eddie to be booked better, so let's go with that. He doesn't need to be in the house. Just book him better, please. Book it, Dano. Big old super from Jacob.
I like this. So Malachi basically saying all that was us proving, which is always been the house's mission, that every human being is corruptible. All they need is the right push in the right direction.
Okay, shout out Joker, the killing joke there of,
Right.
all it takes is somebody to have one bad day type shit. But I 100% would be down for Malachi versus Eddie Kingston in the match. 100%.
Yes.
Give me Eddie versus Brody to get to that match too. Just because I feel like Eddie versus Brody would be a fucking slobber knocker, to quote.
Dude, they would beat the ever living shit out of each other.
100%.
I mean, you know how much of an Eddie mark I am. Like I want Eddie booked all the way better.
Oh.
All right, Fatu with the springboard.
From Jacob Fatu, yeah, he's athletic as shit for a big man. It comes with that Samoan DNA. Well, we've got Saraya and Toni Storm coming out right now. I guess the ex-WWE heel faction here.
You think so? I predicted. I think we get Blood and Guts at Revolution, women's Blood and Guts.
Really? You have a woman coming off of the injuries that she's had in a fucking Blood and Guts match?
I mean, it's almost a way to protect her, though, because she doesn't have to do nutso spots.
Be the last entrant. Be the last entrant. Whatever.
Well, against the Renegade Twins. Let's go.
Already in the ring. But how do you feel about their whole heel turn in general? Because she was supposed to be brought in as, the new face of the company. Can you believe
love this story. I'm serious. Here was my problem with the women's division for a long time. Is it was the whole booking of the women's division was I'm good and all my allies are other girls that are good and we don't like you because you're mean. Like that was the whole thing. Like, give me a reason why you want to fight each other. Not just we're mean girls, you don't even go here, and we're babyface. Like that was the whole thing. No, okay, we're the invading whatever ex-WWE.
Well, that's yeah.
And then it forces whether you're a babyface or a heel. Like this could be Thunder Rosa coming back and forcing her and Britt to work together or something. You know what I mean? Like it could be a really, really cool story.
It could. It's just interesting to me of that. It's literally, I think they finally realized it, and Toni Storm put that wagon to good use there with knocking one of the Renegade Sisters on the outside of the ring. But I think they finally realized that, and it worked. If it's almost made Britt an out and outright babyface of like, no, we started this shit over here. You just came over here because they didn't want you, type shit. So
well, and here's the thing is it's a good.
Christ.
Yeah, I just saw that too. Holy crap, dude!
JTG with a fucking spit out fucking side slam on Jacob Fatu. That's a whole lot of meat to be swinging. Pause.
Hard pause. I think it's cool. Like, how many men's storylines are there? What was the comment about Rosa?
That one. Have you missed Thunder Rosa? Do you see her going to WWE/Impact?
If there's one thing you need to know about me, I am a huge Thunder Rosa mark, and I have my reasons for that. So there will be no Thunder Rosa slander on my watch, sir.
Well, and she's still under contract with AEW, so I don't think she's.
I don't think she goes anywhere. I don't think she goes anywhere.
The only way she goes anywhere is if she gets released, which I highly don't see happening.
No, because here's the thing: is she runs her own promotion in San Antonio too, so I don't see her going anywhere else that would give her the freedom to do that, or she already has limited time as it is. She wouldn't have going to WWE. She wouldn't be able to do that anymore. And I think she's way too good of a talent to go to Impact. No disrespect to Impact, but I think she's been gone long enough. She could come back and get inserted in this storyline, and it would be really cool, I think.
Oh yeah, super. I think they need to, if they're going to do something with Thunder Rosa, they need to come back with an already planned out story for her. You can't.
I agree. No, don't just throw her in.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see.
Oh.
The way I'm looking at this is you got Saraya, Tony Storm. You can throw Athena in with them. Ex-WWE, whatever.
And
Fatu wins it.
Picked up the win after a big-ass Samoa drop and a springboard moonsault that looked devastating as shit for the 1, 2, 3. So Jacob Fatu retains as the House of Glory champion.
Wow.
I don't think that this is a brutal women's match. This is
pretty run-of-the-mill.
Yeah. I think the AEW people might be trying to gaslight Rampage a little bit. It wasn't bad, but this was not phenomenal here, folks, I feel. So, Renegade Sister 1 coming in like a house of fire. If I'm mixing up names, help me. I'm not too familiar.
God, that hip attack, dude. Oof. That hip attack looks nasty every time.
Well, when you got that much of a wagon fucking smacking you in the face. Can't say I've ever wanted to take a move like that, but...
And Tony and Saraya win it.
Oh, that was a nasty-ass pile driver. That looked... You don't really see that of somebody that literally hits a pile driver that it looks almost like super like a snap reflex.
Right. Oh, we're getting spray paint. NWO women's faction, let's go.
WWE.
Dude, if they do it.
I mean, for fuck's sake. Sure. I mean, is this not like literally this has 100% of... Oh, they spray paint a green L on them. This has 100% beautiful people from Impact vibes to me. Of you switch out spray paint with hairspray, and it's the same fucking thing. Same fucking thing. But so that ends House of Glory, folks. Jacob Fatu retains as heavyweight champion. So now we're getting a video package for Adam Cole. So for those who are watching House of Glory, give me your ratings on it. I know you only caught a couple of matches, but
they were good. I'm going to definitely check out more House of Glory for sure. Those were good.
100%, and they are included. I guess
in Fight Plus,
not sponsored. They are included in Fight Plus.
So here's what I'm loving about Fight Plus is the fact that we got Wrestling Revolver on there, but mostly the entire GCW library. Mm-hmm. Like the collective is all going to be included in that. Like I remember I was wanting to watch that last year, and it was, I mean, like over $100 to get like even a couple of those cards.
Oh yeah, you're paying pay-per-view per pay-per-view and everything like that. So
yeah,
100% Fight Plus is a good investment if you're a wrestling fan and wants to watch stuff that isn't just WWE and AEW. But Damien giving it an 8. I'll give it a 6.5. I believe I gave SmackDown a 7.5. I'll give House of Glory a 6.5. Just close, but not. I still, so far to me, SmackDown was the show of the night, and it could just be I was a mark for the whole Sami Roman segments and everything like that. But I don't think anything on that show was a big enough drop off to warrant it really going down too much. Fire Roos.
Oh man.
I'll
tell you what though. Yeah, dude, that
butt attack of Tony's I want. Until you realize it's Rikishi hitting you.
I tell you, man, I'm looking at this NXT card for tomorrow.
Right.
Buddy, I'm not a big NXT fan, but I'm down for this card. I think the only one I probably could care less about is the women's tag match because I don't really know them that well.
But so I will run people through the card because we will be here tomorrow and then probably be me and Big Rig as well. Because like I said, the Every Night Delight, Mr. KJ White out there handling his business and everything. He actually even snuckily popped on here for half a second of just surprise and then dipped out. But we've got Roxanne Perez versus Gigi Dolan versus JC Jane for the NXT Women's Championship. We've got Apollo Crews versus Carmelo Hayes in a 2 out of 3 falls match. I'm telling you right now, match of the night.
Oh, yeah.
We've got Katana Champ and Kane Carter versus Fallon Henley and Kiana James, a.k.a. Bar Rescue, for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship. We've got The New Day versus Gallus versus Pretty Deadly versus Chase U in a fatal 4-way tag team match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. We've got Wesley versus, the Dijacinator. Yeah, do it.
Yeah, do it now.
The NXT North American Championship. Yeah, you need to be here. You need to watch that match. Yeah, do it. And then we've got Braun Breaker versus Grayson Waller in a steel cage match for the NXT Championship. So like you said, it's always interesting because NXT will do that kind of the special weekly shows like AEW does with the Quakes at the Lakes and, the Great Balls of Fires and what have yous and everything. But when they do a premium live event almost on a Saturday or whatever, that's pretty much their version of like a takeover.
And this is their first travel one, right? It's not at. It's actually at a venue, right?
No, it's in Charlotte, North Carolina. Shout out that ain't your boy. So yeah, it's the one that's outside of Full Sail and everything. SmackDown only had the Roman and Sami thing. That was good. This Rampage from start to finish has been nothing but banger matches. Agree to disagree. I'm not saying it's been bad, mind you. I just, personal preference, I've so far preferred SmackDown. But we've got the main event right now. This match could steal it. We've got the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels versus Roosh.
Tell you something, perros.
Now, is it weird that Roosh is just doing the Andrade thing of like, this is what Andrade was supposed to be doing?
I think it's gonna set up when Andrade comes back, like, hey, what the F are you doing? Like, this is my thing.
This is my thing.
Yeah.
Next week, we're getting Top Flight and AR Fox versus the Elite for the Trios belt. We're getting Jamie Hayter versus the Bunny for the AEW Women's Championship, or AEW Championship Eliminator match. MJF versus Takeshita. We're getting the Acclaim versus the Guns. God, Roosh versus Danielson. God damn. I will give AEW credit. They stacked their fucking cards lately.
You ain't lying.
The Garcia Guevara Gauntlet. He's got to go through all of the Jack-Off Society. But, folks, so this is the final match for the night. This is, I guess, the main event of main events tonight. We've got the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels versus Roosh. So give us your predictions. Give us your ratings for SmackDown if you haven't already. Give us your ratings for House of Glory. Christ, give us your ratings for Rampage here. Charlotte Flair is supposed to be opening the show tomorrow night. Michael Cole announced tonight. Why would Charlotte Flair be opening the show on NXT? But fair enough, I guess. Barf. Do you like AEW or WWE better? I like pro wrestling better.
I like good pro wrestling. let me state that.
Oh, okay, so you're like the fucker on The Price is Right of like, I'd like to bet $2, Bob. I'd like to bet $1.
I'd like to bet $2.01.
Yeah, shit like that. Of like, I'll bet $1 million. I'll bet $1.
$1, Bob.
Roosh.
No, I just genuinely like I am critical, and I mean, here's the thing: wrestling's subjective. It really is. Everybody, there's people that absolutely love what Roman Reigns is doing. There's people that hate what he's doing. There's people that love AEW. There's people that hate AEW. There's people that think AEW and WWE both suck, and GCW is the greatest promotion on planet Earth. You know, it's just
And
it's
those people are
subjective
in asylums.
to what you want. You know, it's what you want to see. It's what you enjoy. I mean, there's some people that all they do is watch deathmatch wrestling, and then there's other people that like I don't want to watch that at all. It's what you like, and guess what? You can like more than one thing. You know, you don't. That's the one thing that drives me nuts about the internet wrestling community is like the gatekeeping and stuff like that. Just watch a match and enjoy it. If you enjoy it, great. If not, okay, go watch something else.
I am the gatekeeper. You are the key master.
There is only Zool.
Oh God. But so who you got for this match, Roosh or Christopher Daniels?
I'm gonna go with Roosh, considering he's facing Bryan Danielson next week, and I don't think Christopher Daniels needs a win because he's wrestled like 4 times in the past year.
Well, I feel like he's pretty much semi-retired at this point, if not.
Oh yeah,
to an extent. He's very much more of an agent backstage, which I can't say I blame him of. He's been all the way from being in the secrets of professional wrestling exposed, hosted by Salem the Cat and everything.
Who was he? Slither?
Yeah, something like that. He was the lizard gimmick, the fucking reptilian shit.
Yeah, Slither.
To where they all had to hide their identities because they may never get booked again if they expose the business. Now we've had the business busted wide open like a. Oh, I was about to say something I can't say on YouTube. But I'll take Daniels just A, for the sake of being difficult, B, because it's Tony Khan, and C, because the man only wrestles once a year.
You and Jim can go just whatever.
Just, frolic through the daisies? Is that
I have things that I would like to say that I'm going to keep to myself. That's all I'm going to say.
10 points to Slytherin.
10 points to Slytherin, indeed.
New to AW, but this is fresh stuff, not gonna lie. I am Alpha, fair enough. Well, I guess shout out to The Walking Dead, their profile picture, but we're in picture. Imagine being new to AEW. That seems interesting, but fair enough.
I mean, I was new to AEW 2 years ago. Like, I wasn't watching from day one.
I think we all were a couple years ago, so. But no, I guess.
Well, I'm saying, like, I didn't.
Yeah, I'm taking a piss.
I really started, I'm trying to think when it was on the podcast I was just on Monday. A buddy of mine, Armchair Booking, he does a wire, like a Wire We Fans type thing. He'll just have people on and, just kind of like, hey, what got you into it? What do you enjoy about wrestling type thing? And my big thing, I was a Lapsed fan for a long time, and I really didn't get back into it. I would say towards the end of the Thunderdome Daily's Place era. Like, okay. I would say like February of that is when I started really watching again. Like when I think that was when Miz won the belt from Drew at Elimination Chamber, and then dropped it immediately to Bobby. Mm-hmm. And then I started watching AEW, and because after that I was like, this is effing dumb. So I started watching AEW, and I mean AEW really got me back into it. And then live crowds came back, and they had that really hot summer when live crowds came back, and that was what got me back into it. So that's probably why I'm a little bit biased towards AEW. I enjoy that presentation more. I enjoy the in-ring,
right. Right. Well, it's even like Small Mark said, as we're in pictures, we've got cords and flags and everything used to choke people out here.
Roosh loves that cord, man. I'll tell you. I don't know what it's for, but it's always there.
Yeah, it's like Pac with his little hammer.
Yeah.
But AW breathe fresh air into wrestling. It's been the best thing to happen to help the talent and viewers. Without AW, WWE would be boring as hell. I'm 100%. Competition breeds the best greatness out of both sides and everything like that.
That was why the Attitude Era was what it was. What happened when Vince bought WCW? WWE got stale because they didn't have any competition. They didn't care.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and especially now that, to me, it's gone back and forth this whole time, and I'm not a shill one way or the other of
one. I don't want one to beat the other. Just keep trying to one up each other.
Still, everybody wants to all hold hands and sing Kumbaya, and no one can fucking cheer for anybody or anything like that, and I get that. But still, at the same time, I want them to want to go at each other.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, then what the fuck are we doing here?
But,
you had that run to where Vince was senile and he was in charge of creative, and it looked like he was driving WWE off of a cliff. And then allegations broke out and everything, and then Hunter took over creative. And before that, AEW was kicking WWE's ass. I feel like they may have not done it exactly in the ratings, but from a fan perspective, from what they were putting out week to week, show to show, they were the better product. Hunter took over in WWE, and I feel like Tony got shook. And now that Vince has stepped back into the fold of now we've had this evening of the scales of it really is going back to that what we wanted all along of tit for tat back and forth. And that's, to me, the best situation in this.
Yeah.
You can like it if you can like either side. You can pull for one being your favorite over the other, but you still appreciate each of the other side. You still realize that the fact that they're going back and forth is what's leading to each one being better.
That's what I'm saying. The constantly trying to, we're not here all the time, and we're not here all the time. It's a constant, right. I one-upped you here. I one-upped you here. Dude, give me that. I want to be able to watch 3 or 4 shows a week and want to watch every single show. That's what I want.
Absolutely. Christ.
You know what I mean?
We're here week in, week out, night in, night out, calling anything and everything because all of these goddamn shows are fucking stacked. That's why we ended up starting to cover House of Glory, why we started to cover Wrestling Revolver and everything, because there's so much depth and there's so much talent.
Yeah.
Even beyond just WWE and AEW, which AEW does a better way of spotlighting, but I think it also, as much as they spotlight independent talent, it takes away from their actual on-contract talent. As Daniels right now in control, as we're out of picture-in-picture, and is Stevie Wonder officiating this match? Because I've seen about 3 or 4 different DQ opportunities here.
See, that I'll say this. I know that it's like technically bad reffing or whatever. That's one of the things I love about AEW is they very rarely go the DQ route. Because there was a long time with WWE where it was a DQ every freaking week. Like, that was their cop-out to, we want to protect this guy. Okay, DQ, DQ, DQ.
I'll give you that, but also, though, who didn't give a shit about the rules and everything like that, and they just kind of called them when they wanted them or they needed to, when it seemed fit, was also WCW and Vince Russo and all of that. You walk a very fine line, and I'd say it's more detrimental than good. As Death Valley Driver from
I'll tell you what needs to happen is the Elite need to have a match with someone, and it needs to be a Rick Knox on a pole match. They won't win another match until they get their Rick Knox back.
The amount of viral that just rose, like, it's at my eyeballs right now with that.
I love it. Oh shit,
anyway,
Christopher Daniels.
Or I have, Elizabeth, the big one here.
Before Nick has an aneurysm.
Right. And not Nick Patrick. Oh, I like that. Well, see, that's when you can get interesting of NWO's private ref. If you're going to make the refs characters like you have Aubrey and everything like that you very much know for refs when it comes to AEW. If you're going to do it to where they're refs' discretion, make it part of the fucking storyline.
Well, and that's what, like, it's almost like an underwritten story at this point. Like, Rick Knox is the blind old man that doesn't see anything. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Mr. Magoo of officiating.
But that's where I feel like, they need.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Bull's
Christian
horns.
Daniel's fucking head might
Always-
be in the third row right now. After
always
that shotgun
pops
drop
me.
kick in the corner.
Whew.
So Roosh with a 1-2-3 after a shotgun drop kick that would give Athena a run for her money.
Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Billy turns on the Acclaimed and the Guns win the titles next week?
I can't.
I'm scared. I'm scared. I am genuinely scared.
Say no. That's the terrifying part of. Does he get more turns than a doorknob? Does he get more turns than the Big Show there? If he goes from heel to babyface back to heel. But absolutely, folks, that is the end of AEW Rampage. So give us your ratings for that down in the box. But yeah, what do you think? What do you think? I want to hear your opinion.
I'm genuinely frightened that the Guns are going to win the titles.
Fair enough. Yeah. Oh, I don't want.
Why would they be on TV this much? Why would they be on TV this much?
Because they're buddies with TK. I don't know.
No, and here's the thing.
I know. I get what you're saying.
The Guns very much have go away heat with me. They're not.
They do with everyone. Everyone.
They're not good heels. They're not good heels. They're not. They're just annoying at this. Why would they get the win over FTR? I know that was to write FTR off and whatever, but I could see it happening, man. I mean, I was talking with Mike about this. I feel like we really need another heel champion, which I know technically Samoa Joe's TNT champion again, and he's a heel. But I feel like we need heel tag champs because we haven't had heel tag champs in a while. We had Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. We had Swerve and Lee were baby faces. Now we have the Acclaimed. We need heel tag champs. But the Guns are not the answer to that, Tony Khan.
100% of. That's the thing. Is it scares me because I could see it, but to me, do you look a gift horse in the mouth with the Acclaimed? If it's the best, probably the best, if not one of the best acts you have right now in your company, and you're going to squander it because.
But that's the thing. If they lose, it needs to be okay. We need major heat on a team, but good heat, and it needs to be at Revolution or something like that, not on a Dynamite.
Right. Well, and if Billy turns, I think Billy becomes the biggest star of this whole fucking thing, though. That's the thing, is that he's become the integral part, and I still think Billy Gunn could have a fucking TNT title run or something at this point.
He very well could.
I'll run through these ratings. Well, first, Small Mark agrees with you, but so King gives it an 8.5, 6.5, 8.5, 7, 9, 8. I feel like I'm doing a fucking countdown at this point.
I give it a 7 out of 10. Good matches, nothing crazy. I like the House of Black promo. So,
sorry, what number was that?
I give it a 7.
Okay, no, I missed it. So, and we've got another couple 7s. So I'm gonna go 6.
3.
No. I'll give it 6.5. So here's am I in order? There's been nights to where it's been like that. There's been nights to where I literally can't give it a fucking rating because
killing the business.
Go outside and look at the thermometer where you live right now. That's my rating on Rampage. But no, I'll give it a 6.5. To me, it goes SmackDown. To me, was a 7. I know personal preference. It's 2 hours, and we had a storyline built, and we were progressing things versus the 205 Live to Dynamite for an hour. They were still good matches, but it wasn't anything to me that would outdo. At the very least, nothing would outdo the Sami Roman stuff.
Right.
Fair enough there. So that's, to me, SmackDown wins on that. And then House of Glory, I think, was just behind that. They were all very close, very grouped together. Great night for wrestling on a Friday.
Absolutely, and we're gonna have another good night tomorrow.
Absolutely. So I will, we're just out of here of Rampage. It's been just over 3 hours at this point. We're going to be back here tomorrow night for NXT Vengeance Day. So absolutely, folks, be a friend, tell a friend. You want to make sure you hear. We've already been over how it's a stacked card. Any final thoughts on the night, Big Ring?
I mean, overall, good night. I'm going to have to go back and watch first half of SmackDown. But, solid night of wrestling. Nothing that jumped out at me that I'm like, that was terrible or anything. Overall, good night. There's been some really, really bad nights of wrestling. So I will take a solid, middle to above average night of wrestling any day of the week.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm excited for tomorrow, for sure.
Yeah, sorry. This is 100%. This was a solid night across the board of, like you said, you can't find anything, I think, that was a real weak spot on any show that we watched tonight.
No.
But absolutely, folks, we are the Wrestling for Life Network. Nobody does it like we do. We are your alternative commentary for anything and everything when it comes to pro wrestling. We're the wrestling buddies, and we even invite other buddies and everything to come hang out with us and everything like that. But absolutely, folks, that's it for a Feel Good Friday night. We will be back here tomorrow night, probably even kicking off when they kick off with the pre-show and everything like that for NXT Vengeance Day. So absolutely, folks, be your friend, tell a friend, like, share, and subscribe. Our shit is real. Our shit is raw. Our shit is authentic. When I'm talking about that wrestling, you better put that for life with it. Catch you on the flip side.
Top man.